What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rare Candy Roundtable. We got three wonderful guests here today. Two of them returning. You'll familiar faces. You'll notice them when you see them. And we got a new one here with us today. A guy who actually taught me to store my bulk alphabetical, and he made it make sense.
All
So
right.
I'll let him introduce himself, but he really needs no introduction. But you go ahead, Deej. Introduce yourself for us.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Deej. I am just a Pokemon YouTube creator, really. I am mostly a collector, but I like to create content as a way of sharing the things that I've learned. I feel like it makes the time that I've spent more valuable. It's like
Absolutely.
it's like when you're buying a bunch of cards and you have to go tell your wife like, "Yeah, I spent, $1,000 on some Pokemon cards." Or I spent 5 hours last night doing Pokemon stuff. You
Right.
gotta make it seem more worth it. So I like to share the things that I've learned as a way of like increasing the value of my time.
Awesome.
Makes sense.
Blue.
Blue. Was it blue? Okay. What's up, everybody? I'm Kota's Collectibles. I sometimes make YouTube videos. Often I don't. And I have a little shops going on TCG Player and eBay. Check them out. Here to have a great time.
Awesome.
I'm blue.
I'm blue.
All right. Well, if he's blue, then I'm red. What's up, guys? It's
Yes.
Tiger from Tiger's TCG Den. Um, for anyone who hasn't seen me before, I do weekly runs on what's going on with the market and news breaks, pretty much. I like to post occasional memes, and I am starting to do physical card stuff, and I like to say a lot. And yeah, that's
Me
that's
too.
me. So good to see you all.
Yeah, get used to the ums. We do that a little bit around here. And I'm Harrison from Pokedex Marketplace. And yeah, we all are members of a Discord. We get together and talk shop all the time, from the business to personal life to Pokemon to video games. Anything we think of, we talk about and discuss. And we discuss our videos and get feedback on how we're doing and stuff like that. It's good to have a group of guys that I can trust to tell me when I'm doing something dumb or when maybe I should do something more. And if you want to join us, the Discord's in the description, so feel free to do that. And without further ado, we're going to jump into some topics. And first and foremost, I think um, Destined Rivals. We'll just jump into that. The Gloria Team Rocket, I guess we'll say, because it is officially out now. So we've seen the cards, at least the Poke Beach leaks, and what are you guys' thoughts? I want to. I mean, it's hard for me to
Oh
decide, so
man.
I hate to ask, but what are your top three cards? Deej, we'll start with you.
Well, I will start off by saying that I am somebody who really doesn't like to look at leaks. It's hard to
Uh,
avoid them.
okay,
But when I'm opening a set for the first time, I really want to be surprised by something. I
gotcha.
enjoy that feeling. But I have seen the Mewtwo, and I've gotten into an argument about it. So I personally think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I've seen both Mewtwo's. I've seen the full art and the SIR. And the SIR, I mean, I think it's awesome. People are saying it's just like basic, but
They don't
I
know
don't
what they're
know.
talking about.
I don't think they
They
see
don't
where
know.
I
the
haven't
art's
seen it.
coming from. Yeah, I personally think that the whole set has an obvious, well, not obvious. I say a theme of perspective, where it's the Pokemon are enlarged and the people are standing in the back, or the scenery is enlarged. They're really playing with perspective, almost like they handed that assignment out to the artists, and I'm really enjoying that. And the purple and red gradient color and like the schemes of it, we don't get much of that. I know that like when you think Shrouded Fable, you think kind of a greenish purple. Sometimes like those colors go in your head when you see certain sets, and it's cool to have like this dark and purple red set for me because I don't know. I just personally enjoy those colors. But I want to hear what y'all's cards are before I say mine. But Coda, what's your top three without going too hard into spoilers? I'm sorry, Deej.
It's okay. Like I
Yeah.
said, I can't avoid them.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I have a follow-up question to that
Okay.
from a content creation side later, but I think this set looks good. I understand some of the issues people have with it being not
exactly what you would expect a Rocket set to be, especially since we know that this set's going to be combined with Heatwave Arena, so it'll really not be a Team Rocket set, which is why I think this Japanese set's probably going to stay pretty expensive for a while. So I think it's really good. I think there's some really good cards in it. I think there's enough like throwbacks to old first generation, like classic Rocket stuff, with also bringing in new generation. So personally, the Murkrow, I love the color scheme of the Murkrow.
Oh, yeah.
I like the perspective of just kind of sitting on the balcony. Pinks, blues, purples, those are my favorite colors. So I really think that that's a cool card.
Yeah, it is.
See, a lot of mine are gonna be ones that people don't like as much. Oh, but the Moltres, of course, the Moltres is
I've seen that
love
one
it.
too.
gorgeous.
Love it.
I think that card, like I was showing before we started filming, I have the Articuno from what is the Battle Partners, and then I have the Zapdos from the Japanese 151, and I think this is obviously gonna probably be very expensive to go into collections, but it's gonna have to.
Yeah,
So I think that card's really cool. Otherwise, I like the Mewtwo. I won't say that I love the Mewtwo. I think there have been better Mewtwo cards. It's not exactly the style that I thought they would go with, but I don't dislike it. I actually really like the Secret Rare, or I guess the Ultra Rare in English. I like that one more. I like the full art more. I like the throwback to the test tube Mewtwo. I like I like the color scheme of the purple with Giovanni and the red in the background, but I do like the perspective of the SIR being kind of this like not even demonstrating power, just menacing, which I think is a really great way to portray Giovanni and Mewtwo.
Right.
So I think those three cards are great, and I'll throw in the Houndoom. I think the Houndoom doing a backflip over the admin looks sick. I think that card looks great. So I do think there's a lot of great cards in this set. I think there are some that are not that feel out of place.
Yeah.
There are some like illustration rares that I'm like, okay, this feels like this was just we ran out of things, we're gonna throw something in their card. Like the Clamperl. I think that was one of the ones that was revealed a while ago. It just looks like, what are you doing? If it was in Heatwave, I'd understand. But it's like this feels weird in the Rocket set. So, but I think the set's gonna be good. I think this set's gonna be the hype that we all expected it to be. Destined Rivals, we'll see, but the Glory Team Rocket for sure is a great Rocket set.
I do think with the you add on Heatwave Arena, and that honestly makes it more fun to pull. Like your pull rates are after Prismatic Evolutions, your pull rates is gonna be good. Like you got all these cards to pull, man. Like you might not be pulling the cards you want, but you're gonna be pulling something. And like I think that's gonna make people happy. After what we've been going through for half a year, if you're able to get your hand on some packs, I think it'll be a good experience for most people. You know, unless you're just really unlucky. I think most people will have a good experience pulling these after what we've been through already. Now, Journey Together was fun to open. If you like those cards, it was fun to open. I opened like probably only like 16, 17 packs, something, not too many, not even 20 packs. And I enjoyed every one of them, even the ones I did, that were a bust. I liked some of the cards because I played with them. But but I think this set is going to be awesome for pulls. But what are your three cards? And what do you think, Ty? I'm ready to hear your hot takes.
I have so many thoughts.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'm not gonna go completely into everything. I'll start with this. By far, my favorite card is the Mewtwo SIR.
Okay.
And I'll give the same reason I give everybody. I posted on YouTube, I put it on Twitter, I've posted it in the Discord. Here's my whole reason why I like it. I don't need Mewtwo to tell me how powerful he is.
Yeah.
I already know.
Exactly.
It's Mewtwo. Okay. Everybody who's gonna enjoy the set already knows Mewtwo. Yeah. And to the point that he's just sitting there menacingly. I like that a lot. And again, I compare him to Vegeta. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Vegeta is at his best when he is menacing and confident.
Yep.
The moment he starts fighting, he loses every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and same thing happens with Mewtwo. The moment Mewtwo fights in the anime or in the video games, he loses. So I don't want to see him fight. And we've seen so many of him fight. We have the one where he's shooting his dark ball over at Charizard.
Yeah.
That's a cool one,
Stars.
I think that for a Mewtwo card, compared to all the other stuff we've seen, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I would say it's on the upper tier. I still think Test Tube Mewtwo is the best
Yeah.
Mewtwo we've ever gotten.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's our Weapon X. It's our the magnum opus of Wolverine ripping out of it's that.
Right.
Yeah, to
Right.
me it's that same thing. And
Right,
yeah,
but it's because that card represents not Mewtwo itself, but the creation of Mewtwo,
Right.
which again is why we like the menacing factor of it. Second favorite card has to be the Moltres. I love the fact that they made it a point to have the Zapdos in 151 and then run with that with having the Articuno and Journey together,
Mhm.
and then finally finishing the trio with this. It would be very cool if we saw some kind of revived tag team situation where we saw them all on one card again, but we kind of already got that with 151.
I think
They're,
that's
like, way in
coming.
the back, so
I think
yeah,
that's coming.
they might do something, So yeah, now my third favorite. This one's hard.
Yeah.
I really like the Spidops card.
Ooh.
Shockingly, I wasn't expecting that because
Is it the
I like
perspective with
Weezing.
the grunt way off in the back?
Is it the
I just
color?
like that he's like all low.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah. That's
you
what I'm
know?
saying. Like, he's way back in the back. Like you see that guy.
Yeah.
The perspectives of that card. The Spidops look so huge and gigantic, and like the guy looks tiny off.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like the whole
it-
set has that.
Plus the green and black feels
Yeah.
dark. It feels like it
Like
feels
Shrouded
like I guess what a
Fable.
lot of people expected like Team Rocket to be.
yeah,
Excited.
Just like-
absolutely.
I have no love for Spidops, right? We've had a couple of cards of Spidops, and I'm like, but that one, I'm like, hey, if that, I pull that, I'm gonna be pretty happy.
I
about it.
think Spidops
but then
is
there's-
Need for Speed Underground too. He is like, you Riders on the Storm. You hear that start playing, and then you're like, oh man, I'll play a couple races. Like,
Yeah.
that card.
yeah.
It's like I wanted to kind of hate on it. I'm not gonna lie, but like the more I look at the card, I'm like, there's a lot to appreciate about it. It's just not what I
Yeah.
wanted. So it's like the Clan Pearl. I could complain, but why would I? Like I said,
Yeah.
to me, I think the set is stacked, especially with Heatwave Arena. That Garchomp's gonna be fire. All of that is exciting to me. You guys knew I was gonna be excited no matter what happened, probably. But I'm not even mad
Yeah.
about Jesse and James. I think they could have, in the background of one of the cards, had a balloon blowing off in the wind, like them blasting off. Like just way off in the distance. That would have been cool, some kind of homage. But I see what they're doing. They're world building with this, which I think is awesome.
Mhm.
That's one of my favorite things anyway. I do miss Jesse and James, but I am I love the cards. I love the Wobbuffet. I love the Moltres, of course. The moral oral Meowth. I say
Mhm.
moral oral because it
Yeah.
just reminds me of the animation a little bit, that
The
claymation.
leather chair.
Yeah.
in
The way his
fireplace.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of.
Yeah. So there's a couple other things I wanted to say though, real quick. I really don't like, and this is my hot take. I really don't like the Nidoking. It doesn't do anything for me.
Whoa. Okay, so
Yeah.
that about which one? Which one? Which one?
The
'Cause
one
that-
where he's doing the earthquake, the magnitude.
Why?
That
Is it the rock takes up too much of the card? Because like I've heard that.
I think
complaint.
it's too busy, and I'm
Mhm.
not opposed to busy stuff. Like I really like the Crobat one. I like all the Zubats and
that
stuff.
one's busy, but I love that card too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but here's why. It's the same reason why I like the Mewtwo one, where he's just like
It's
sitting
simple.
there. Nidoking like doing his move to me. It just I don't know. I don't like that look personally. I can't explain it, but I just don't enjoy them doing the moves in their stuff. I don't know why. I prefer just having the actual
You just like want to
Pokemon.
see a profile and like.
Yeah,
The
I
Dragon
think
Ball
I just
Z
like them
moment.
more in their like casual habitat type of thing.
It's
You know?
like-
I feel
it's like
like I
base
want
set.
to.
What'd you say, Dish?
Yeah,
Base set, like that. It's just like the
Yeah,
Pokemon is
yeah.
what matters,
but
I kind of
it's not horrible. I feel like a lot of people like that one card, and I feel like it's overhyped. So I knew that was gonna be a hot take. So I wanted to just say
Oh
that real
yeah.
quick.
Well, I
Not my
love
favorite.
it. I love Nidoking. I love
Yeah.
the whole set. So I'm gonna shill the hell out of it. But there's a lot to appreciate about it. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that they're experimenting. They're world building. About the
Mhm.
tag team stuff, guys, I think that's right after Mega Evolutions. We do have that video game coming out that's gonna have a lot of team ups, style stuff going on. I think that element will come to the TCG again. It's going to be the next thing to do after Mega Evolutions, in my opinion. It's the next thing. But
I, I,
it could be later, but it's coming.
did you guys also pick up that this set is based off of Gen 2? This set has Houndoom.
Yeah,
This set
that
has
Houndoom is
Crobat.
fire, dude.
It has Murkrow,
Yep.
right? It has a bunch of
Or
Gen
Ho-Oh.
2 cards and the Gen 2 characters, right? There's not
Yeah.
many Gen 1 Pokemon. This is more of a Gen 2 set that were kind of released. There's
Do you think they're
obviously a
going to
few
show
that
up in a video game?
I
This
don't
version
know.
of Rocket?
I don't know. I mean, they were in the remakes of
They were in the manga, I
Gold and
think.
Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the manga. But they were in Gold and Silver, and I just noticed there's a lot of trends towards Gold and Silver with this one. And then we also have, Ho-Oh coming in from
Love it.
Heatwave.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh, this one has a lot of Gen 2 vibes to it that I actually appreciate.
I really don't mind Heatwave being the set that is with the Rocket set. I really do not mind it. Like, at first I was like, man, I wanted to be a dedicated Rocket set. But then I'm like, this is nice. Like, I wouldn't be mad if I pulled those cards, Like, I don't know. Anything else y'all think about that release? I mean, we don't even have to talk about the product sourcing side of that yet. We'll get into that. But just the set itself.
I just have one question about the Mewtwo, the SIR.
Mhm.
Shouldn't Giovanni be scared? Since Mewtwo doesn't have his armor on, he should be unleashed at that point. I feel like if they put a little bit of fear on Giovanni's face, that'd be so sick.
Oh, dude, that
That
would
part
be.
confused me a little bit.
I almost
I'll
called it.
counter.
Wait, what?
I'll counter with, I think in this art, it's almost as if, because Giovanni's not even giving his full attention to the person that Mewtwo is obviously looking at. I think it maybe is maybe playing off more as Giovanni's unleashed something that he has no regard for what it's going to do. Almost an intimidation, like I'm unleashing this beast and I'm fine with whatever happens. Kind of a pure end of Gen 2 Giovanni, where it was kind of this hopelessness or this
Just more unhinged.
I'm done with everything. That's my perspective. That my favorite aspect of the card is the fact that Giovanni is so just does not care that you're there. It's kind of he's looking at his eye well, here you go then, I guess.
Yeah.
I love that. I will say the Nidoking, I like that it's doing a move purely because if it wasn't, it would be too repetitive for the SIRs. The Moltres is just flying. The Mewtwo's just, looking down on you menacingly. The Crobat's just present. The only one that has any even everything else, the only I guess you could say the Orbeetle is kind of flying, but everything else is very stationary. So I like the dynamic of having some kind of movement to it. That I will say I don't love stylistically how they went with that one as much because I think it feels a little busy yet simple, which is a weird combination for me.
Yeah.
But I the Crobat, every time I get this card, I like it more and more.
Yeah, I think I want to go back to the Nidoking real quick. I think that what would have really have sold me on that card, they could have kept the Earthquake, they could have done everything. Instead of having it be inside his gym from I assume that's what's happening. This is the Gym 8 from Gen 1 Kanto, right?
Well, I think from the games.
Also, I won't forgive them. They didn't put a Rhydon in there. They should have made Nidoking Rhydon.
I said that today to my buddy Adam. I was like, "Where's Rhydon or Rhyperior?" They could have done something.
Right. Because that was his big play.
Yeah,
In the original game, if we're gonna go with the gym, Rhydon was his main Pokemon.
I mean, I thought they were gonna step it up a little bit too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
But where they could have used this artwork and it would have worked is if they changed the background away from the gym and made it the other side of the stadium with Garchomp. Because if you look at Cynthia's Garchomp, it's running and it looks like the ground is shaking out of the way right? So if it was a corresponding card to Garchomp running through and it was Nidoking that hit the Earthquake to shatter the ground, that would have been really cool as a side-by-side.
What card do you think isn't from the set? What card do you think isn't good? What do you think's lacking? Mine would be Persian. I think they could have did it better. I think they could have did it better just because it's Persian to me. I think it gets a little bit better. Like that.
Do
That
they
should
only do
serve.
a full art version?
Yep, just
Well,
one.
there's one more
We
that
already
we haven't
have the
seen.
older one, but yeah, we haven't seen apparently the other one, but
There's one more, and I have a feeling it's a Persian,
it better be.
right? Because we have an ultra or hyper rare or whatever it's
I
called.
don't care. I'm not mad. But they
Yeah.
gave me my Wobbuffet, dude. I can't complain about
Yeah.
nothing. And I almost predicted what the Mewtwo card was gonna look like with him crossing his arms, with Mewtwo standing there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the podcast, I think I talked about what I thought it was gonna look like, but I mean, I'm pretty happy.
Honestly, I like every single Team Rocket card in this set.
Really?
There's not. I'm
Clan
scrolling
Pro?
as far as the illustrations and the SIRs. The full arts are what they are. I like the Moltres. I mean, sorry, yeah, I like the Moltres and the Mewtwo. The Nidoking's fine, and I don't care about the other ones because they just don't fit the set. So I think every Team Rocket card looks really clean.
Absolutely.
I think they did a good job with not just going classic Team Rocket Pokemon, but kind of combining a little bit Gen 2. We've got, the blinking.
Oh,
Orbeetle thrown in there, which I really like that card for what it's doing, for what is happening in that card. Not necessarily because I like Orbeetle, but
the
like
whole thing
the
is
spotlights, the
perspectives,
running, him trying to like the Orbeetle seemingly guiding the grunt out of where they are. Like, I love that. My complaint with the set is the cards they decided to add into the set as the, I guess, filler illustrations. The Zamazenta, the Kangaskhan.
the Satian.
I like the
reason.
Kangaskhan now.
I
like the Kangaskhan.
Yeah, I like the Kangaskhan if it was in any other
Okay,
set.
I get what you're saying.
Well, the Clamper, like all these cards feel like there's no connect. Like the Kangaskhan, I can give a little bit of connection to because
I like the Clodsire too.
This is a reach, but I played a lot of Radical Red, the Brom hack of Pokemon, and that Mega Kangaskhan is on Giovanni's team. So when I think of Giovanni, because I played Radical Red probably more than any other game in Pokemon, I think of Mega Kangaskhan, so I can connect it. But Zamazenta feels completely out of place. It feels like there's no reason for Zamazenta to be in this set.
I agree.
The full arts was
just to give him a legendary.
Why?
I don't know why Regirock's in this set. There is like no. I don't mind there being non-Team Rocket named Pokemon, but if you're going to do that, have a full art. Right on. Have use one of the Pokemon that they use in the Rainbow Rocket arc of Gen 7. Whatever you want to use, like use something else than just like Titan. Here you go. Arboliva. Here you go, because Gen 9 needs some representation in here. The Clamperls, like all the illustration, the Clamperl, the Zamazenta, I wouldn't necessarily mind in another set. If they were in Heatwave, I would have been like, cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's just no connection at all, and it just feels like just like filler. That there could have been something really, really cool in there.
Deej, out of what you've seen, which one would you say is not up to your standards?
Well, I am a very easy critic. I'm the type of person that likes most movies and stuff I watch.
That's pretty good.
So I have a feeling that I'm gonna like most things. But hearing Clamperl being in a Team Rocket set, that sounds weird to me.
It is off-putting. It's not a bad card. It's just off-putting. It's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
It's like, who invited you?
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for asking, but who invited you here? Like, you're awkward now. Like, you got to make eye contact and everything. With that, we'll move on to the next little piece of hype. It's a little close to nearby to us now. You're starting to see it pop up on sites and stuff. The Super Premium Collection. I'm stoked about it. Of course, we get the Eevee card, the famous Eevee card that has the I forget her name, the cake decorator from Japan. She made a card, Eevee busting out of a cake. It was in Terrastal Festival, what famously wasn't in Prismatic. Well, we're getting it in the Super Premium Collection. So I really do want that Eevee card, so I'm stoked about it. To get it in a 10 would be pretty cool, whether I only owned it for a couple weeks before I sold it or whether I got to keep it for a long term. I would enjoy having that. And it comes with some cool little accessories if you play the TCG. The playmat looks freaking awesome, like well made, even for them, like well made. But you guys that have seen it, have you seen it, Deej? Have you seen the? I know you don't like to spoil things.
I've seen the SPC. Yeah, I've seen it. I try not look at it too much because I haven't been able to get one, so I just kind of act like it doesn't exist for
Yeah,
now.
that is so
Yeah.
smart, man. I need to learn
That's
that tactic.
That's fair.
What do you guys think?
It's very cool
Uh,
though. I definitely want one.
I forgot about it, to be honest.
So much going on. So, you've been running a
So-
booth, man. You've been so busy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
moved on beyond us.
First off,
everyone.
guys,
Yeah,
we're all
I'm
team
not
Rocket.
even into Pokemon
He's-
anymore.
He's
I'm
in a
in
store.
Yeah.
All
I
you
like
peasants
One
online.
Piece. I'm into One Piece and Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Tarkir
He's
for
ripping
Magic
flesh
or
and
whatever.
blood all day long.
Flesh and blood.
Yeah.
He sells
Actually, I did buy a
pogs.
box of MetaZoo, and let me tell you, that thing
Oh,
is
no.
not flying off the shelf. No one's bought a single
I was
pack.
about to
of
say.
it.
No one cares about
I
MetaZoo.
thought
you were
MetaZoo
about
is
to
the
say
dumbest. It failed once and it's gonna fail again. I don't care
Bless
what.
it.
Here,
Catch
look at
Em All
my
says.
dragon. You know what? Boom. So,
Ugh.
anyways,
Is that a coaster?
Here, it's a very nice coaster. It's a very expensive coaster.
Yeah.
So, here's my thoughts on the SPC. Okay, I don't know what is going on with Prismatic. I can't make sense of it. Prismatic is in this weird like I don't know, cryostasis
Yeah.
position. The values of everything are just stuck.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
product is not moving really at all.
Nobody's
I mean,
even
it
buying
is
the SRs.
right. Like nothing is like happening.
Not till the
And
people
the
have to
set
pay their debts
value-
back that have bought it up. Not till the
Yeah,
credit card bills do, and then they'll start selling that shit off.
Yeah, well, I just like the sealed product to the set value
Mhm.
is such a huge disparity. Like for example, Stellar Crown is like a $500 set or
Mhm.
something like that, like
Mhm.
$500 to $700 depending on if you get a deal or not. And the booster boxes are $200.
Right.
Okay. That means that for 3 booster boxes you can have a master set and whoopsie
2.5,
daisy, you're
yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Prismatic, like a ETB is like 130 to 140 market, but the set value is like $9,000.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing even close unless
a
you go to like
specialty set.
old cards. You can't master a set like anywhere near that price point. So I'm like, why is the sealed value of this product not going up? Then you have the SPC, which is, rising to I think it's like $400 market, something ridiculous.
Like
But
about
nothing
350,
else
yeah.
is
Ain't no way.
yeah, but nothing else is like
Ain't no way.
riding up with it. So I don't know. I kind of checked out. I don't understand what's happening with that set.
What
I
scares
think
me
they have a lot of-
is Black and White is also a specialty set, and it's about to come out in June, and for us in
Mhm.
July, and it's it's gonna be a big set. It ain't gonna have the evolutions, but it's gonna have a bunch of Pokemon that people have waited a long time on, myself included.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we need more Garbodors.
and we need Keldeo, dude. I'm sorry, but
We had that one cool one from was it Crown Zenith?
yeah,
That one's really good.
yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I like
that one
that
is
one.
good. But
That's one of the
anytime they
better
show my
ones.
boys some love, I'm down for that.
I love Keldeo.
Just needs some texture. Needs
Yes,
some texture.
please.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
Japanese is gonna be
I
fire.
wish Keldeo had been a textured glaring gallery.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be sick.
But is the Eevee coming out of the cake a $400 card?
No, it's a $90
That's my
card.
question.
I already said
It's
that when I
Right.
evaluated it. I said that at most is a $90 to $100 card, and that's
Okay.
the highest I would ever pay for that card.
And how many packs are in that box?
So that's that's what I was going to go into.
15 or
So-
16.
Herein
15,
lies
I'm
the
looking
problem.
right now.
It's 15 packs, so it's if you just take the pack value, it's at market value on TCG Player, you're looking at $180.
Okay.
And then you have the cake Eevee. Let's be generous and say it's
50.
$100.
Yeah, 50 to $100.
I think it's going to come out of the gate because of how hard this is going to be to get. Because no matter how many pallets we saw a month or two ago, where everybody's like, it's going to be printed like crazy, it hasn't been. It obviously hasn't been.
No.
So say it's $100 card, you get 280. Well,
Okay.
is the mat and the play mat beautiful? I cannot wait to go on those play mats.
You can buy those
This-
on eBay,
this-
probably, yeah.
Let's say this is currently
Oh, yeah.
going at the same price that we're seeing the 151 Mew Ultra Premium Collection going for. It's the same price, $350-ish.
Yeah.
You can get one of those play mats on TCG Player for $5.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was just
No
about
problem.
to say.
I'll send you one if you want one.
Right.
I picked one up immediately. I was like, I've had one for a while because I was like, $5, sweet. I'm never gonna touch these things or like the UPCs at that point. All right. I think the prismatic is one of those weird enigmas where no one wants to rip it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a weirdly larger amount of now. Obviously, rip and shippers are doing their thing still. We know that,
But they're the only ones ripping it.
Yeah, there's a weirdly and me. There's a weirdly like larger amount of sealed to singles as compared to pretty much every other set we've been looking at recently with Surging, with Journey Together, with Twilight, all these sets that we've seen come out. Like there's a larger amount of sealed to or larger ratio of sealed to singles.
Right.
And also because of how ridiculously hard it is to pull any of the cards people actually care about because
that's why nobody wants to open it.
Yeah, Pokeballs and Master Balls were a horrible mistake. They learned. There's so little value to it that people don't look at them as hits. Even though if you counted Pokeballs and Master Balls as hits, you're actually pulling pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think what we're seeing is the singles market is still so crazy right now for this stuff, especially the evolutions. They're still, I mean, the Vaporeon, which is one that like was actually on the lower end.
I love that card.
Of the prismatic ones for the first few weeks, I'd say. That was like the one that I pulled also, which is funny.
I got my mini tin case. I mean my mini tin display. That's it. And one ATV.
Yeah, it's back. It's continuing to go up. It's market value is 385 on it. I sold mine for 340.
Jeez.
I just don't know what to make of this.
It's
not
because
even sales.
It's almost impossible to pull these things, and people adore the evolutions. So the value of the singles is holding steady because there's this idea that they're going to print more prismatic as a blanket statement, which they did, and we're seeing this restock that I think is going to do absolutely nothing to the market. I think it'll dip for like a week or two and then go right back up.
If that,
it's going to make it go back up more.
Yeah, it's going to spike even more.
Yeah,
are we looking? My question is, are we looking at an Evolving Skies set, but with 9 different Moonbryons, which I know is a crazy thing to say.
I think we're looking at something unprecedented. We're looking at there's no set to compare it to because it's doing this new thing. That's why I was saying about being worried about the black and white set. Is that going to be following in the footsteps of the precedent that's already been set?
I don't think so. Because I
sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm the one who's just like yapping here. But the thing that I want to like really wrap my mind around is that the black and white set I think is going to follow the lines of like the 151 set, right? Prismatic is not a 151 set. It doesn't have that kind of generational like, hey, if you pull anything, you're going to get something cool from that generation. It is only the EVs, and that is it. It's a gambler's premium set.
Yeah.
And to what Kota just said, I think it is relying on the fact that everybody's hoping for more product. The question that we all have to ask ourselves is, if more product gets injected into the market, 1, are people actually going to open it? And 2, if they do open it, are we going to see those evolutions prices hold where they are? And if that's the case, is buying sealed at $140 in ETB a discount right now? Or are we going to see it drop like we're seeing with 151 because they've injected so much into the market already? I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. I've never seen anything like it. And I that's a moral of the story. That's why the SPC thing, like if I can get one for, $200, great.
It's a no-go,
I just don't think that the EV I don't think that EV to me is worth it. And I'm a sealed collector. Like I like sealed boxes and stuff. But I'm not going to chase it because prismatic, like if one comes to me in the store, at the little shop, as much as I might be like, oh, this one's mine, I'm just going to put it straight on the shelf and it's going to sit on my shelf for 7 months because no one's going to buy it. but I'm not going to take it in personally
Mhm.
because I'm going to be like, no, that's a waste of money.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this box.
Yeah, I got one from the Pokemon Center drop,
Oh,
and I
wow.
have no
Congrats.
clue what I'm gonna do with it. Because in my head, I'm like, honestly, I don't care about Prismatic anymore. I don't care about opening it.
Mhm.
I don't care about I will get my Japanese tens when they come down a bit, if they come down a bit. And if they don't,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'll get EV Heroes instead, or I'll get these. I'll get the Moltres from Toward Glory of Team Rocket and be happy.
Right.
But I think, in regards to black and white set, I think the black and white set's going to be actually worse than 151. I think it's going to be like like if you took the dead center of Shrouded Fable and 151, this is where black and white set is, because there's not enough
City of
nostalgia
Flames.
in it. Yeah, there's not enough. Won't get that far.
Yeah, I was
Like
about to
there's
say,
just,
I
but there's
don't
not
know.
enough. There's not enough. Like I love Gen 5, Gen 5 and Gen 7 are my two favorite generations. That's why I love Battle Partners so much. I think I just really like generations, but I'm in the minority. A lot of people hate black and white. They hate Gen 5 because of what they try to do, and because of the Garbodors and
Yeah.
the Pokemon that just kind of feel like, oh, they were just trying to fill out a dex. Prismatic though, I just don't see Prismatic coming down. The fact that every SIR out there is pretty much dropping right now. Like the Pikachu's dropping, the Bubble Mew's dropping, much to my chagrin because I just bought one out of a collection. The Charizard dropped pretty low from 151, which is crazy because that set's so hard to get. That's the weird thing. The pull rates in 151 were a lot better than Prismatic, and that's why we're seeing the Prismatic singles hold so much better than the 151 singles, even though the 151 sealed is continuing to go up. Is it the time to buy Prismatic product? Maybe. I don't see it becoming a discount in this market. Will it become a discount a year from now when maybe after the 30th anniversary things drop? Maybe. I'm not going out and buying them for 140 a pop.
No.
Don't.
But I also am not expecting it to drop down below 100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no.
like everyone's
I agree.
holding it.
It won't drop
It's
below
just being held.
120,
I agree.
130. I mean, I don't think.
I look at
If
it from
reprints
just
come, it'll overcorrect. It'll probably be more. I mean, it just more people will get it and do the thing they see everybody else do, which is hold. So it's going to be a set that nobody has nostalgia for because the pull rates are trash, and you can't get a box. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm on TCG Player right now, and I'm looking at like the Umbreon, and then I just looked at the Jolteon. Jolteon has only moved like it looks like a total of like 4 cards in the last 2 weeks on TCG Player.
it's not moving at all.
Oh
So
wow!
There's no supply. There's
well,
no supply out there.
There's a
there's
couple things going
supply.
on.
Yeah, it's just no one wants to sell or buy it.
There's not a ton of supply, but there are people that are not selling it. And then like from a collector's perspective, there's no way I'm filling out my binders right now. Like I'm
Hell no.
waiting for there to be
That's
more
true.
cards out there. But at the same time, off of what Kota was saying, like that's super dangerous for me as a collector because everybody's probably doing that. So what happens when the reprint comes out, prices don't come down, and then everybody's like, "Oh crap, I better buy mine." And then everything's going
Yep.
to go up because nobody's buying this because they're all waiting. Like it will get printed more like Shining Fates. Even 4 years down the road, there will be more copies of these hits out there. It will happen. But less than other sets because it's not going to be open.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be enough to meet the demand, and I really am scared that I should be buying the singles right now. I'm never going to overpay for a sealed box because I probably will have a chance at Target down the line.
But
For
because
$50, I'll
nobody's
be like, why did
opening
I
it,
pay
those
100?
singles will go up. You know.
The singles are what I'm really nervous about personally.
Yeah,
Because I have to complete the binder.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I
So
would
you're
take-
chasing it. You're actually chasing the binder. See,
Yeah,
you're a brave man because
it's my creed. It's my creed.
Oh goodness.
And Deej has a lot of experience from what I was hearing earlier about finding those hidden gems and understanding where to look for certain items that no one's looking for. So I mean, I take a lot of stock in that. That's a good opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
Scary.
I want to ask y'all now, what do y'all think about like the ghost drops that Pokemon Center's been doing? I thank you first off, Ty. You have been a horn in the Discord, bro, sounding off like a battle cry, and we're Vikings coming over the hill, like like you know, just and then we come, and we appreciate it, man. Thank you, dude. I a lot of times I'm working and I ain't able to make it, but sometimes I am, and there's a lot of other people that are able to hit because of that, and we appreciate you. But they just they drop stuff. They dropped 151 bundles the other day and or yesterday, and I mean I didn't get to take part in it, but you guys did. So how? I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that's the way to do it? Or do you think they should let us know in advance, or how do you feel about that? Because I mean, the bots, in my opinion, the bots are the only ones that benefit from that because they get to monitor the sites all day long. I can't do that. And so, like, by ghost dropping it, they're just letting the bots have a chance at getting it before me anyway. But if they told me, like, hey, Tuesday at 2 o'clock, we're dropping it, then I have a chance of beating a bot. So that's how I think. But then again, if we all knew, then it would be so crowded we couldn't get on. So I don't know what the right thing to do is. But what are you guys' thoughts?
The new method for me is just means I don't get drops anymore. I think I heard you talking about it, Coda. Like when I'm at work, my internet will like drop off momentarily, and then the page will be like, say it's waiting in queue, but it actually is just frozen there, and all of a sudden it says, "Oh, your page downloaded. It's offline now." It's just like this cycle of not being able to stay in the queue when I'm at work. So I just don't get drops anymore. I hate it.
Damn.
Yeah, there is no answer. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is Pokemon Center gets their crap together and gets their site to where it should be, which for a multi-billion-dollar company, you'd think they'd be able to do. They apparently can't. Those of us who, when we got the drop for the 151, I was at work, but thankfully my job is flexible enough to where I can pop in Pokemon Center as soon as I see that notification and grab it. And the first run through, I got kicked. I think everyone got kicked as a bot because they had some weird glitch on their side.
I think that's a glitch.
It was definitely a glitch because it was a glitch because people that were well after the actual drop were still getting kicked out. I think it was purely an issue. I'm very curious as to what you think it is because I can't imagine it being anything but a glitch because I don't think they're smart enough to actually do anything else.
I also want to remind everybody that those queues do not exist to make sure we get product in an orderly fashion. They exist to make sure the site doesn't crash. They don't care if you're in line. They don't care if you get the product. They care that someone gets the product and that the line doesn't break the site. So it's not even, it's set up like, oh, you're in line to get a product. No, you're not. You're being held in place so you don't crash the site, and whatever bots or whoever is ahead of you, it might just be people, but they're getting it. Like, it's not designed for us to be getting the product. It's designed to keep the site from crashing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people confuse that.
I gotta say what I think happened. Okay.
Sure.
So,
Hear it.
one, Harrison, to what you just said there, I think both can exist at the same time. I think that it is to help people get product, and I think it is to keep their site from bogging down. I think that they wouldn't do a like, hey guys, everyone get in line at 7 a.m. Like, I don't think they're gonna do that because that literally could break the queue system.
Yeah, okay.
That could be so much people. But what I think they did, because I think Pokemon Center is realizing they have a botting problem. I think everybody realizes it, and the only thing that they can do that makes sense is, and I posted a meme about this, is, you know, in the beginning of Lord of the Rings when Sauron has his mace and he's just whacking and all the bodies go flying?
Yeah.
I think what Pokemon Center did was like, okay, we know that everybody here who has been here for the first 10 minutes they've been like watching closely and have bot notifiers and have everything. So we're just going to blow out everyone who came in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, always.
I think that's what they did. Yeah, I think that's what they did. And then they moved all those people to the back of the line and then let everybody else in, right? Now imagine you were like a store manager at Target, right? And you see the same faces coming in and buying all your product, and they were sitting there at 6:50, knowing that, waiting for the door to open. You might be inclined to be like, hey, bro, you do this every week. We see the same people. Go to the back of the line. If there's some product, you can get it at the end. And I think that's what they did.
That'd be
Honestly.
fair too. That'd be fair.
Okay. I fully disagree. I think in the end, one, I don't think they care. I truly do not think Pokemon cares enough to
don't.
do anything like that when they can't even keep their system up as it is.
Yeah, they don't.
If it had happened with the drop the day before with the prismatic 10s, maybe. If it continues to happen down the line for a while, maybe. But in the end, I truly think this is one of the things that they just don't care enough about to do something like that or to even implement a system like that. Nor do I necessarily think that they want to, because in the end, why would they? They just want their money. They
Right.
don't actually really care about that, because if they did, they would be implementing better systems in their actual system without having to just kick everyone out.
The reason I agree with you on this is because of Warhammer and because of the Games Workshop website and because they have been handling this bot situation for longer, for way harder numbers, if you could believe it. And they don't crash. Not anymore. Not for a couple years. Not since COVID. They figured it out, and they don't care. They will let the bots buy it up, and you can buy it from the secondary market. They just keep the site up, that's all it is. It's business as usual, and everybody knows that.
If Pokemon truly cared, if Pokemon was really, it cared more than maybe like, oh well, we're gonna try to print more because we don't like our image being tarnished, whatever.
Yeah.
If Pokemon truly cared that bots were getting stuff, they would have actually started to implement better things. The queue system is their fix. The queue system is their fix. So in reality, I think that was their, okay, we did something, guys. Congratulate us. Good job, everyone. We're doing great. And past that, they don't care. And you know what? If we see this continue to happen in the next few drops, where it constantly the first X amount of minutes you get kicked out, I'll hand up my bad. But until then, I just truly don't believe that, one, they have the capacity to do that necessarily, or the desire to do that, and two, that they would if they could.
Yeah. I'm just seeing a lot of sentiment of, hey, let's go jump ship and go do One Piece.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go pick up a different one.
But every person that does that, you're getting replaced by 5 others that want to get back into Pokemon.
That's what I'm seeing too.
If Pokemon saw a definitive drop in their card sales,
no, they can't, because the bots
Why?
are buying it all. How would they have numbers of
the bots are buying it all because everybody's buying it from the people with the bots.
I know that. I get that. But here's the thing is that here's the problem is that we're not going to realize the damage that's happening of people holding product and holding heavy bags until much later, when they go, oh, no one's buying anything anymore. Right? And that's because all the true fans have left. The issue here is that Pokemon, they've been doing this for a long time. And I do think that they're probably pushing the boundaries. I saw on Target that they made Target put they didn't make them, but Target put the Journey Together ETBs to $70. Which I was like, I told them to do that a month ago. And the reason why is because I think they're trying to be like, hey, no more. All of a sudden all this product shows up at Walmart that it was like years old, and it was all at once. The entire nation just got stocked. And then there's rumors that they, knocked on the door and said, hey, get your stuff, get it on the shelf. What are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
So you have that. Then you have, all these weird ghost drops of random products, out of nowhere. I don't know. I do think that we still haven't seen the prismatic ETB drop. Right?
That's still
they did a random Journey Together ETB drop. I've heard that now suddenly all these other ETBs are getting like changed on limits out of nowhere. Like if you go in there, it's like limit 2, limit 4, where that wasn't there before. They're changing things on the back end for whatever reason, unless they know they're going to stock something. I think that Pokemon is well aware of the issue, and they don't have a solution of being able to track exactly who is ripping everything and who is buying everything, but they can see the damage that's created by the botting issue. And the most efficient way is to be like, all right, let's punish the botters. And that's the only way that they could do that, is by mass deleting,
I mean,
tens of thousands
I
of
can
things.
attest that I've been in there for every drop so far. I think I might have missed one, but I've been there for just about every drop. And I was there 10 minutes early. I got booted at the hour on the hour, and within like 5 to 10 minutes of the hour, I've gotten booted.
So
I'm gonna have to
which
agree with
drops are you? Which drops are you talking? Sorry, Deej. Which drops are you talking about?
I
I'm
did
curious.
Journey Together. Um, what was the one?
You're there for Destin.
Yeah, I got the Destined Rivals one.
Yeah.
There was one, so it was Prismatic, Journey Together, Destined Rivals, and then the UPC. I mean the SPC, and there was one more. What was the one? It was no, I guess that was the SPC. So that was four, just four of them.
So I my counter that is I've been a part of every one of those drops, and this is the first one I've ever been kicked from.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I thought
I
everybody was
got
gonna
the
be.
Journey Together, both Journey Together drops I never had an issue with.
Yeah.
The
same.
original 10 drop for Prismatic, I never had an issue with. The SPC, no issue with. Destined Rivals, no issue with.
I
My
got booted
internet
for
cut
Destin.
out.
I got booted for Destin in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but
I
still got it.
I didn't. And a lot
I
of the other
think-
people that I talked to didn't either. So this would be the first one where it would be potentially, and obviously, like in the end, who knows? We'll find out. In
Yeah,
the
this
next
is
couple
such a
weeks when they do other
conspiracy
drops.
too.
Like,
We're like,
we'll have no clue. We'll come back.
Booted.
We'll come back, and one of us will be like hot, and one of us will be like, my bad, I was wrong.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
what
Sorry,
were you
what did
saying,
you
Deej?
think
You
about
said you were
yeah.
saying something earlier, Deej. What were you saying?
So I've been in a lot of these software rooms where they're designing these technologies, these big corporations. My perspective is that Pokemon 100% cares. Maybe not all the higher up people, but there are people that just care about the website. There are people that just care about the queue system. There are people at Pokemon that want to stop this. I guarantee you 100% there are people that are thinking about this.
I needed to hear
at their
that.
day job.
I needed to hear that, bro.
So, I am not sure that this drop, the kicking was intentional. That is
Yeah.
something that would be somebody would get in trouble for something like that in my eyes. Like
Probably. Yeah, I
that's
see what.
not
Yeah.
against protocol. In a corporate company, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
it can happen. Like I have powers in my job. Like I could make something happen in a production system. Nobody might notice. I could play it off. I could explain it off. I could do something like that as an engineer at Pokemon. Be like, I'm gonna screw these bots. Oop! I accidentally pressed the button. Like that is something that could definitely happen. And you can explain it off with code because it's so complex. Like there are ways.
Yeah.
So
But do you
the
think they
second
would
the
do
second
that?
part of this, I don't know. I might. The second part of this is what makes Pokemon keep going up? More people needing to come in. Pokemon is a Ponzi like crypto.
Yeah.
The Pokemon company understands this.
Oh man.
You can't just have the adults buying everything. You need to. What made us? We played it when we were kids. Kids have to have this product. They need to have this product in Targets, in Walmarts. Kids have to have it. If it has to be through Pokemon Center, that's the only way that they can actually control because their hands are directly on it. They can't control distributors. They can't control LGSs.
Yeah.
That's the place they can make sure that kids can definitely order something online.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon definitely cares about this. They 100% want to get it in the hands of kids. And right now, that is not happening. Because parents that have kids that like Pokemon and they don't care about it,
Yeah.
they're not waiting in bot lines, like they're
Yeah.
not doing that kind of stuff. And
Right.
Pokemon,
Yeah.
they're not getting that crowd as much as they would want because that's what built this whole Ponzi is
Yep.
us as kids playing this stuff. Like that is
Yeah,
the
you're
most
right.
important part of this is getting more and more people into it.
Yeah.
The nostalgia.
I disagree.
I think
they
that
care.
conceptually, Pokemon should be moving so much more of their product on their website.
Yeah. If
It would,
can
it would
handle
take care of people. It
distribution
would take.
in-house,
I'll preface what I said.
So with
I
you.
think that in the end, I don't think Pokemon is unhappy with what's happening right now. I think overall they're excited their market share is going up in the timing that it's going up because we're seeing Legends EA is coming out,
Yep.
big game coming out, which is their the TCG is such a small part of their business.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
very
That's
small,
true.
much
Not all
smaller
about
part of the
the
business.
cards.
So like
it's like the smallest. Yeah.
this funneling into the game, I think they will look at it as a short term not great, but long-term better because it is going to bring in more people in time for this game to come out, in time for these big sets to come out. So not necessarily like, oh, Pokemon, I think there is an element to where I don't think any really large corporation truly cares to any large degree about the individual like person. Maybe it's just my skepticism, with having worked with bigger companies and just seeing like,
well, Pokemon's still private too. They're still a private company, so they can make decisions without worrying about the suits if they want to. If they want to, but like you said,
if they want to. That my skepticism is always like, if they wanted to, then why is, like in your video today, why is Legends ZA an $80 game?
Yeah.
Why are we not? Why did this printing issue happen in the first place? Because if they only care about getting the cards out to people, then they wouldn't have been so conservative with their printing up until this point.
Yep.
I think they do care about the next generation getting it, but they don't necessarily look at that as like the goal at the moment. Right now, they're just, how can we keep this market rolling and continue to print out more and continue to put on more product. I think moving to the Pokemon Center, first of all, obviously getting the Pokemon Center site to the point it needs to be at for such a large company, and then pumping as much of their product as they can through that to, one, solidify MSRP as being an important number to them, and solidify the idea that Pokemon cards and Pokemon products should be closer to that than it has been 6 months ago. And it allows them to control the amounts people get. Hopefully, eventually, whether or not bots are able to get in there, whatever that is, I don't know. That's not, you would know much more about that kind of stuff than I do, Deej, but I think that's the answer. The answer is Pokemon needs to take over more of this distribution and more of this for themselves, and use the Pokemon Center as that in between, and stop hoping.
I made a whole video stating that point.
They can afford it.
Is it more expensive than, because they're seeing all the profits at that point? So is it more expensive to them to continue to sell their things at MSRP and pay more people if they need to get the product out, whatever that looks like? Or to continue to send off to distributors and hope that they do right, because they obviously don't have any real management over it.
I think they just don't want to have to supply all the mom and pops and all that stuff. They don't want to have to take all those names and send all those packages. And
you can continue to have
at sending stuff.
The distribution system you have in place, because you have those contracts in place already. You continue to have that and fulfill the same amount you've been fulfilling.
Oh, absolutely.
And take everything else and pump that through the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, I think if they slowly built to it, then that would be possible. Like you said, you keep contracts going with these guys, and you slowly take on some of it, and slowly let those contracts die out. Keep a couple on until you're able to handle more capacity. Maybe that's a possibility.
If the Pokemon Company and whoever is making all the decisions in it truly cares about the individual and the TCG side to the point where they are actually saddened by what's happening, or truly upset by what's happening, we will see the Pokemon Center become a much more prevalent part of this, because they can see obviously that distributors are not doing right by the customer.
That's
full stop.
Yeah.
And we'll see crazy print runs of these of the sets coming up in the next 3 months. Obviously, sure, Destined Rivals didn't get a lot of distribution. Doesn't look like a great allocation. Maybe there wasn't enough time between when we saw Surging take off and this. It's been 6 months. Okay. 3 months from now, we're at 9-month mark. We should be seeing whatever set that is. So the black and white set should be printed like crazy. If it is we need to get the cards in the hands of the people.
Yeah, it's about 4 to 8 months behind. Yeah.
If it's not, then we'll see what's continuing to happen. And if it is, what I lean more towards, which is they will get to that point eventually, but we're going to squeeze this lemon for as long as we can until we get through Legends ZA, until we get through 30th anniversary, because we want these to be big things.
Yeah.
And then we'll let it kind of peter out and kind of catch up.
That's very possible. Absolutely. Very possible.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see something like that more than them actually taking the steps that they would need, because giving more distribution means nothing. Right. I can tell you right now, Journey Together is still selling out in a heartbeat on every website, on every big box store website, it's gone within a second. It's impossible. I've checked. I have no desire to buy Journey Together. I check every once in a while just to like keep up with what it's looking like.
Right.
Within 10 seconds, it's gone.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
by the time I click it, it's already out of stock.
it's gone. So like
Yeah.
these people are still grabbing up all of this stuff, and they're not able to keep up with it. They will see that change, and that will be the signal that Pokemon's actually doing something about it. Until then, I will probably continue being skeptical of whether or not they're really truly upset by what's happening.
Right.
Not necessarily like they don't necessarily love it, but it's like, well, hey, this is a great time and this is going to happen, kind of thing. Kind of a happy accident.
I don't think that Pokemon's upset, and I want to preference that. I want to make sure that's clear. I don't think that they're like mad or anything. I think that the defining point of where if I was a company, I would be concerned is when all of my miscellaneous product that no one bought is now sold out.
Yeah.
That's when I'd be
Absolutely.
like, okay, we have 3 boxes left on Pokemon Center,
Yeah.
and that's all we have available.
And that's
every
the thing we
10
never sell.
Yeah, that's the stuff that like no one wanted, and now they're like clearing out the back, which is like, hey, great, it's moving, awesome, right?
That was
But
Deej.
then
He
I would
bought
be
them. He
like,
bought a case of them.
yeah. But like that's where I would start to be like honestly, taking from this perspective again from being at the little card shop, um, I'm running out of product.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, oh, I don't have any more product to give. What do I do? So now I'm having to get creative, starting at the bundle things, starting to go more towards different, different things to try to move it. And get more in. I'll give people higher trade-in value versus my cash value. I'll like increase it by 5% or 10% or whatever, however I can. I need product coming in more than anything.
Yep.
Um,
All of us.
and
do.
so if I was Pokemon, I would be like, okay, it's kind of crazy that we have no more Paradox Rift.
Yeah.
We have no more Shrouded Fable.
Yeah.
Right. And we knew that people want it. There are still some things on there that no one will touch, but once we see like the trainer toolkit's gone, then it's bad.
Yeah.
Like that's the end of the road. There's nothing left. We are scraping the bottom of the barrel to get anything. And so if I was Pokemon, I'd be like, I need to satisfy the actual consumer base to make sure that they stick with me while I'm trying to get the rest of it under control. I I don't think that they're in a position to where again they're like angry or upset. I think that they're more just like, okay, now is the time to direct our efforts into trying to control the situation, which is again
Right.
why I think that there might be some truth to them going and knocking down the distributor door and being like, guys, get your product out on the shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
I see it's back there. You like this contract? You want to continue it? Move it.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
that's what I would do.
That's a I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure that their contracts probably protect them from Pokemon dictating anything. They probably got some really good clauses in those contracts that protect them too.
You're talking about Nintendo lawyers, my friend.
Yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't want to play with
They're
them
a special
either,
kind of breed.
but that does segue into our next topic really well.
LGSs, like I'm gonna go into Safari Zone real quick. Safari Zone actually bought a product called Droppable that Sakura Cards I think has, to where now you have to be recognized as an actual customer to buy products from them. If LGSs and LCSs are taking the time to do this, they are the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that Pokemon is sitting there being like, okay, how can we make this work? What can
Yeah.
we do? Without completely rebuilding everything, because it's a big trip. You got to take a lot of
Right.
spinning that wheel to actually get to turn around. But there's some clever things that they can do. Like we saw the Evolving Skies sleeved packs coming with a random, plush and play mat and a deck box and stuff that no one wants. Those are all LGS tactics to get you to buy things that have been sitting, and like you
bought
really
it.
want the product. There you go.
Yeah.
Right? If you really want that product, you got to get the stuff that you didn't want before as well.
Yeah.
It's
They're
a
taking
way
their
of making it
distributors,
work.
their distributors strategy.
Yeah.
That
I
kinda-
think, yeah.
Go ahead. Oh,
No,
I
you're-
was just saying that kind of leads into the next topic pretty much. The source and product. Like all of us, have this issue of sourcing product
Mm-hmm.
for our businesses, whether it's a hobby or something we do to try to learn more about ourselves or whatever. We're all needing to source product. So what are y'all doing with that? I got the tariffs. Like, how are y'all managing the times we're living in? Because personally, I'm sold out. I have my singles and slabs and stuff like that I'm about to list on the site and about to start focusing on the singles game. But that's about it for my business because I can't source product at a price that's fair enough for me to sell the product and feel good about myself. So I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuck right there right now. But
Mm.
what about you, Deej? How's it looking for you?
I am in a transitionary period of my life because I am closing on a house May 1st. So I'm
Congratulations.
Congrats.
trying
Heck
to
yeah.
not like get stuff shipped to my house.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Makes
also
sense.
don't have a distributor, so whenever I sell stuff, it's really not like modern product.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into the scalping. Sometimes if I get two, I'll sell one so I can get the one I have for free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, buying a bunch to just make money. I'm doing it to
Mm.
increase my collection.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I
so
like your
I,
perspective too.
I, yeah. So I was able, like for Journey Together, I was able to get a case of booster boxes from Pokemon Center and a case of PCETBs, and I'm happy with that. That's enough packs for me to open. I'll buy the rest of the singles. Destined Rivals, I have literally nothing. So on that one, I'm just hoping that Pokemon can finally catch up by then.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
will not overpay. I just won't do it because there's so many places in this hobby you can put your money.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point to overpay. You
Mm-hmm.
can do something else
Yep. That's a good point.
that's undervalued
Yeah.
right now.
What about you, Cody?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, nothing's really changed. I was doing mostly singles and slabs as it is, and I'm still bringing out collections, especially right now because people are panic selling because the singles market is definitely hitting a downturn. A correction. It's a
Smart.
correction. So I'm buying out collections. I just finished selling off a large chunk of the one that I bought recently, getting cash flow back in. I think that it is a very hard time to try to run a business if you are doing anything but scalping.
Yeah.
You
That is
can.
true.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. Um, but if you are relying on distributors, you'll get your first run, and then as soon as that first run's done, we're seeing, Casey put in the Discord what his prices were for the prismatic ETBs from his distributor. It's still 130,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the
140, something
same.
like that. And I'm sure that's not just them. I'm sure there's a
Right.
lot of other distributors out there doing the exact same thing. Japanese, I'm still using the same guy I usually use, English based. He has found a way to keep the prices relatively the same. It's only gone up a couple dollars a box for the most part. So that is kind of not changed. So for me, nothing's really changed. There are more buying opportunities from my side of it, from
Right.
the single side, because
The panic.
people are panic selling. So when you bring a 65% offer, it looks a lot better to them than having to deal with it themselves.
Yep.
Uh, Overall, sealed is English sealed. I don't even have access to. I wanted to get it, and I don't want to get it uh, because I couldn't sell it for a price that wouldn't be scalping. Will I sell some of the extras that I got of Destined Rivals? Because I ended up getting a few ETBs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll sell them. I've got to do something to keep the cash flow coming through.
Yeah.
And if it means that I have to do something I don't like for 3 boxes, 3 ETBs, 4 ETBs, just to get that extra few boxes of Japanese that I can sell at a price that I feel comfortable with, then I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is I think I talked in the Discord about like my struggles with Journey Together because I got a bunch of the booster bundles and stuff, and when it was still 45 a bundle, I was like, well, I gave a few away on the Discord, and I was like, I don't know what to do with these. Do I sell them? Do I make the $10 a booster bundle that I got from because I was lucky enough to get one of the Walmart drops?
Right.
And we kind of came to this like, yeah, what else can you do? Otherwise, it's like, well, then I'm just gonna give up because in the reality, like if I'm not able to get collections, which I get here and there, and I can't get product, I can't run a store.
Right.
I don't have a physical store where I can have people come in and sell me their stuff that they don't want. I'm having to go out there and try to hunt that down, which is the work I'm doing to make this still function. But it is.
So
sorry.
I was just gonna say, so are you guys running your businesses? I mean, obviously money is a motivating factor, but like, are you running your businesses in order to support your life, or is it more of a side hustle?
We're just experimenting.
No one should be doing this for their life unless they were already here 3 years ago.
Yeah.
My job is videography. That is my full-time job.
Right.
And I actually had this conversation with my wife the other day because I was in that moment of like, what am I doing? What can I do? And I know this is a little bit of frustration, and it's late and I'm tired. So you're just
but it's real. Let's go.
Deal with me for a moment.
Yeah, no, this is real.
Yeah. I came to the realization. I was like, well, what am I doing? If I'm doing this for money, then why am I not just driving Walmart Spark for 6 hours a day and making probably minimum wage at the very least?
Mm-hmm.
Easy money, no dealing with product or customers. Really, it's just pick up stuff, drop stuff off. Anyone can do that. It's super easy. Why am I not just doing that if I just want money? And I came to the conclusion, well, I'm not just doing this for money. Mm-hmm. I need money to continue doing what I'm doing, but I've always said like I want to be in the some shade of Danny Phantom.
Yep.
I want to be someone that runs a business and runs it successfully and makes money and supports himself and give back as much as I can to people. But I don't even have a store. Like I did the giveaway on the server just because I was like, I have Journey Together and I know people don't. So I'm just gonna do this for the sake of doing it. There's really no other reason. I specifically was like, don't say anything about my channel because I don't care. I don't want this to be some publicity thing or some like check out his channel or whatever. It was just because I want to do that, and that's what I want to do more of. But to do that, I have to make money to be able to continue to build it up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
It's a crappy place to be in, to be a small store. And I'm adapting. Everybody that I think my first video I ever posted was like, you have to adapt. You have to be able to figure out what you can do in this market. And for now, it's just continuing doing the same thing and scraping by and just not taking it too seriously.
Yep. I mean, that's why I asked that question is because there's other people out there in your position, in my position, and like you said, it's either do something to keep it moving somehow, or give up or kind of put it on hold till things settle. Like I'm doing I'm still keeping the doors open. I'm going to sell my singles off the site, which is something I should have done all along and probably will turn my whole business around. So, I was being silly and hoarding all that stuff, but people need to hear the real, the true, the raw of it. And, to answer your question, DJ, I'm in it for an experiment pretty much. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've opened several businesses for other people and ran businesses and done several things. And I was like, why not do something that I enjoy? I get to collect, because I'm like you. I'm trying to add to my collection. So that's where I'm having trouble is the collector and the businessman. I got two wolves in me right now fighting, and one of them is just a touch autistic, and the other one is like bossy. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about it, and I want to keep it moving, like Kota said. So that's what I'm trying to do, and luckily I have you guys in the Discord to keep me on my shit because honestly I probably would have felt sorry for myself, ended up giving up or whatever, which is okay. Giving up is okay. If you're out there watching this and you need to, that's okay. This is, you don't have to do that. I don't have to do this. It's not the end of the world for me. If I do have to stop, I made great friends. I can still keep doing content. Like, it's not the end of the world, but I do want people to pay attention to the words that, like Kota sharing that Ty, you'll share, I'm sure, and even Deej, I know you're not in the same side of the business as us, but collecting, you got a lot of wisdom that you're sharing too, and I just hope that people hear this and it helps them, along the way, because I know that the other day it was difficult for me dealing with my situation, but I had you guys to fall back on. I could reach out and say, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and this is what I think I'm gonna have to do, and I'm kind of at odds with it, blah blah blah. And you guys were just like, well, here's the business, and that made me feel a lot better, and now I have a better attitude about the whole thing, and I fear a lot of people out there don't have that. So I hope that we can, in a way, be that. But yeah, it sounds like we're all kind of get beaten up. Ty, you're a shop boy now, so how's how's that going in the shop?
Well, the shop is keeping me alive, man. But here's the problem. I have overhead now. I
Yep,
have to pay my rent,
yep.
right? Which means I have to keep moving product. So the big thing that I'm having, let me kind of paint the picture of the beginning to the end of where this whole thing started. So I started out wanting to just be a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, I was doing Twitch, playing games, didn't really land. I was like, you know what? I'll just start doing Pokemon content because I really like Pokemon. So I was in the beginning a 100% collector, 100% content creator. And then it got really expensive. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, well, let me start becoming like a content creator and an investor. So then I went from 50-50, right? Then then all of a sudden I'm like, oh geez, my boxes are worth kind of a lot of money. All of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
My Surging Sparks that I paid 140 for are now $230. Let
Yep.
me just offload one to recoup my costs and I'll keep the other one sealed. And then I became
100%.
pretty much a seller. So
Yep.
all of a sudden I was split into three different categories. But what happened is the content creation side started to come down.
Mm-hmm.
The investment side started taking priority as I watched all the product disappear. All of a sudden I felt like I was obligated to buy it when I saw an opportunity. I
Yep.
had to buy it
Yep.
because I was afraid I was going to miss an opportunity. So yes, FOMO hit me,
Yep.
right? But it wasn't for the intent of making money immediately. Now understand that my motivating factor is money. I do want to build myself and put myself in a position to where I build some form of wealth off of a hobby that I love with people that I love. You know, working a day job is great, but it's a day job and there's a reason why people do night jobs. I would
Mm-hmm.
much rather have the night job be my day job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to like kill people over. I'm not trying to scalp them, but all of a sudden now I'm put in this position to where I had all these different reoccurring costs that were coming on top of everything,
Yep.
right? And so I was like, uh-oh, I need to do something. So I met a friend, started helping him at the shop. He says, hey, I'll rent you a booth. You'll have opportunity. You can buy, you can sell. And I was like, awesome. I'll sign up and started doing it. And now I can't find anything.
Yep.
So it's getting harder and harder. And I feel that the pressure of purchasing and becoming a scalper is like that's your only option, as Kota was just saying. You either, live long enough, or
Yeah.
sorry, you die a hero or live long enough to become a villain at this
Yep.
point,
Yeah.
right? So now I'm sitting there and I'm trying to help everyone. I'm like, guys, opportunity, buy it. Don't buy from me.
Mhm.
But if you can't, I'm always here. You can buy from me, but go over there and buy something. And I drop the links. I do what I can to help people out. But if they really want the product, I'll sell it to them. But I'll try to keep my prices, under market where I can. But here's the other thing, and I had to kind of come to terms with this. Some products are just at market and it has to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also offer plenty of products that are at MSRP or below.
Yeah.
Nobody wants them, right? They don't
Yep.
move. And so I'm like, okay, well, guys, if you don't want the Paldea tins, then I'm
I
sorry,
wanted
the
to.
151 bundles are going to be $55,
Yeah.
$65.
You just gotta
Like
make your money.
you can't be, yeah, well, you can't be so picky about it and then expect the seller to take that loss, because also
Yep.
like where I can pick up that stuff, I'm not buying it from the local retailer anymore. If I get lucky, I'll pick up something, but I would say that's 10% of my inventory, 20% of my
Mhm.
inventory. Now it's me hitting people who come in with the store, who want to, liquidate something that they have, because a lot of people are sealed investors
Yeah.
and now they're getting scared, right?
Yep.
So they're walking in with ETBs saying, how much will you give me? One woman, it was crazy, she comes in with the Journey Together booster box and she goes, hey, how much can I get for this? And I'm like, I do the quick math and everything. I'm like, it's at like 220 right now. When I do all my math, you're sitting at like 170, right?
Mhm.
And she's like, oh well, I paid 160 out of the vending machine to get this, and I'm like, oh my
Well,
god.
here's your 10
This
bucks.
lady, you're right? This lady literally was one of the people who bought it from the vending machine and thought, hey, because I got it from here, I can immediately walk across the street and go sell it to a guy and make money instantly.
Yeah.
I get it. And I'll
That's
take
crazy.
it because now you're saving me a
I was
trip,
about to say.
to go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that's the mentality. Like it's not just like my clientele, I'm not saying everyone's scalpers or flippers, but
I mean, it's
everybody's in
happening.
it to get their everybody's in it to get their share,
Mhm.
And there was like even speculation over whether some of the product we have is hot, like people are coming and trying to sell a bunch of stuff all at once. It's like, where did you get all this?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of that kind of shady stuff going
Mhm.
on. But most people who come in are extremely nice, are extremely content with paying for it, and are excited to have that environment. It's a very open, fun place to be. It's exciting. And I wouldn't say like what you see online
Mhm.
versus what you see in reality are two different worlds completely.
Yep.
I
People are
imagine.
more than happy to pay $10, more for a product than MSRP at a local shop. Like they're like, oh, cool, bet,
If
and they'll
they're
buy
getting it
it.
in hand, yeah, because you're getting it right then
Yeah,
and there. You don't have to
Yeah.
wait. There's no must know. You can look at it. Like you know what you're getting.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll pay for that any
yeah,
day.
yeah.
It's how much you value your time versus having to hunt for that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have a buddy that
Yeah.
bought some 151 the Costco 10s. He bought them for like 70 each, which obviously
Yeah.
that person bought them for 40 or 35, but he was like, saves me a trip to Sam's, saves me a morning of having to sit in line. We went and filmed a video that day for the channel, made a couple $100 off the video. So
Right.
we made money, and
Yep.
it's worth the time. So yeah, it's super worth the time to do that. It's what scalpers. There are bad scalpers, and then there are scalpers that are people just trying to like get by
Yep.
Yeah.
on
I
the
think
situation.
I think that if you choose to sell anything, you will automatically be labeled a scalper. But
Yeah.
it's not
I
as
mean,
simple as that.
Yeah.
distribution is scalpers.
Yeah.
Pokemon is a scalper. They're
Everyone's a
buying
scalper.
head
paper
of
and
beast.
selling it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Every
selling
collect.
singles.
I see
You know how much
collectors
each of those
raiding
cards.
shelves, dude.
You know how much
Oh, yeah.
each of those cards in a set. You know how much this is
Oh,
just
I
what I have
do.
on hand. Like this right here costs 30 or 43 cents or whatever it is for each
Yeah.
card. If you $5 pack, each card
100%.
costs a certain amount. I'm a scalper for trying to sell it for 70 because I graded it, or trying to sell it for 20 when it was raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's an
It's
accepted
ingen-
scalp. It's
And why
accepted
why
scalp.
are people buying the graded card? It's because it's a perceived amount of value that they feel confident will retain that value, which is why people are now walking up and saying, "Hey, how much will you give me for this?" Because they're scared that they're going to lose their value. If
Yep.
anybody sits there and says, "Oh, well, it's not about the money," I'd be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
dude,
But
I
you,
totally don't
but
believe
when
that.
it
I'm sorry."
outperforms the S&P 500, you can't blame people. Like.
Right. And
It's definitely disingenuous for me to say I'm not in it for some of the money. Like, I think about my collection as a way of building wealth for my kids. That
Yep,
definitely
that's how I
is
do
part
too.
of my thought process.
Yeah.
And you definitely
and there's
can make
nothing.
money in this market by buying collections and grading,
Mhm.
and grading the tens. You can
Mhm.
make so much money. Like,
Mhm.
it's
I
literally
think
free money. It's passive income at
anybody.
this point for me. I
Really
have
passive with how slow
13,000
PSA
singles
is.
worth of oh, passive service authentication.
Anybody who takes financial risk and is willing to sit on it for an extended period of time is entitled to the gains that they got from that financial risk.
Yeah.
And to say that that is immoral is dishonest.
Yeah, that's not the
just
same as
the way
scalping.
that's how a market works,
Yeah.
If it didn't work
Mhm.
that way, we couldn't trust any market ever. It would
Right.
be chaos,
Yeah.
right? So overall, yeah, to answer the question, I don't want to go and try to like source, boxes from Walmart or Target or whatever, but the short answer is that I'm sourcing it from every little avenue I can
Yeah.
just to keep it
So
to
do you
where,
have a distributor?
I don't, but I
Okay.
actually have a wholesale program that I'm a part of,
Okay.
I have
I've looked at
access
those.
to friends who have distributors, I have ways of making it
Right.
happen, but it doesn't matter because the distribution's dry.
Yeah.
My wholesalers, when I say, hey, how much do you sell me this for? They want market or above. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I'm stuck with the same. My best way of getting product, as I've said several times, is literally Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
That
Yep.
or
Yep.
now if they walk in physically and offer it to me.
Yep.
But that's about it. You know?
That's tough. That's
Well,
tough.
to take it away from the negative and move into some more positive, we'll talk more about the YouTube side of things because we all play on the YouTubes. So there's some stuff we can talk about there. Deej, excuse me. You have like watching your content has been fun for me because you have a unique way of looking at the world. I don't know how better to put it than that. Like I said, you presented the hot take of storing your bulk alphabetically, and I didn't know that something could rub me wrong like that. But then I listened to your explanation, and I was like, he's freaking right. And you know how easy it would be because I'm actually in the process of doing all that right now. So it really hit me home to watch that. And you have so many different things. I just watched that unexpected sales video where you recap your sales of the week, but only sales that you found strange. So like, who buys this stuff? Like, and it was entertaining. You find the value of products you might have laying around, or like he says, you know, you purchase collections and you have these weird stamps or stickers in there somewhere, and there's somebody buying Mr. Mom right now, and I enjoyed that content. And you recently did two episodes with Pokeball Cards, who is a friend of my channel and these guys here, and he's in the Discord. He's been on the podcast. We love Pokeball around here. And you guys did Guess Who, I think it was. And I love that. I was inspired. I want to find a game. And I don't know if you guys saw this episode. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh, you saw it? Okay. Well,
Mhm.
they pretty much, yeah, just they pulled 151 until they both got a hit, and they didn't let each other see what it hit. So they had to contain the excitement for the cards they got. And I don't want to spoil the cards because you should absolutely go and watch it.
Oh, it's great.
You are a great actor, by the way. I'll say that. But but yeah, they waited. They pull cards, and then they can ask questions one at a time to narrow down what the other person's card is. You know, so is it, you know, so you know what type is it or whatever. You know, but you're trying to find out. Like you were asking some clever questions, like you know, because you're eliminating two questions at once. You're eliminating like, oh,
Yeah.
well, that's not a trainer, and
Like,
it's not a.
Is there EX? So is there EX in the name? So that got rid of trainers and all IRs immediately.
Yeah. Oh man,
That's smart.
dude, it was so fun just to watch that I couldn't imagine. I imagined playing it with Paldean Fates. I was like that because all the shinies and all this. I was like that would be a hard game. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Where do you get your idea? How do you think like that? Because I'm trying to think. I know that's a weird question to ask. I'm trying to think of how to even ask it. But like, how do you come up with this stuff, man?
Well, it comes from just being old, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Playing with the kids.
So my son, yeah, playing with my son. I play Guess Who with him. I also used to play Madden. So there was some creators that used to play Guess Who opening the digital card packs, and I used to love that content.
Okay.
So I was thinking like, what have I watched that I could do in Pokemon that people aren't really doing? Because you can't find product like pack openings aren't really like as viable.
Right.
I hate talking. I don't hate it. I don't like talking about investing content just because it's tried and true.
Yeah.
Like the reason you're probably saying you see different things on my channel because that's really my intention. Like I'm trying to go for stuff that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like if it's
Smart.
something that other people have done or are doing constantly, like it's probably not something I'm gonna post.
Right.
So for the Guess Who, people aren't doing like random fun stuff. Like
Yeah.
another idea I have, like people aren't doing like forfeit challenges for Pokemon packs. Like
How do you mean?
if I don't pull an SIR in these 10 packs, I gotta eat this hot chip. You know, like
Oh yeah.
stuff that
Oh,
people
people would
love
watch that,
watching,
yeah.
but it's not in Pokemon content at all.
We should do
Like
that.
I
for
watch
sure.
that stuff, but it's not in Pokemon.
That's
So I was trying to think of ideas like that. where I could put a Pokemon twist on something that I already enjoy. And I like playing Guess Who with my son because it's more of a fair game, I feel like, than some of the other games. And it's not just random, like all the random games like Candyland. I
Yeah.
am so done with.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my family
Here's
to
some ladders.
No skill.
No.
Gosh.
All skill.
My son is 6. He likes to set up the Candyland cards.
It rigged the game for you.
Which is
I remember
not-
I remember
yeah.
playing that game when I was like 5, 6. I think it was great then. Now I'm like, I never want to see that
Yeah.
game ever again.
Yeah.
I get screwed every day at the game of life, all right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
y'all made that look so fun, man.
Yeah.
I remember.
I want to do it more. They'd be down with do it with you guys for sure. I think
Yeah.
that it really didn't perform that well, honestly. Like it
Which
really
is
performed
wild.
pretty terribly.
But I think if people watched
I was
it, they'd be
surprised
like,
by
I
it.
want more.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I feel like we just need to
Gotta get
put more out
exposure.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we
Saturate
need
that
to get it
market
out there.
for sure.
It's not something that people are used to clicking on for Pokemon content, you know?
Yeah.
Like they don't even know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do thumbnails in that sense, like try and get the idea across. I mean, you guys are all
Well,
deep
it was a
into
cool
that
way
too,
to do a
but
collab too. As you can see, I mean, we're all about collabs around here. We can't wait to jump on a
Yeah.
call with each other and hit record. But like, the way that y'all did, like, okay, well, one episode's on my channel, one episode's on his channel. You have to wait till you see it. What happens over there? Like I don't know. I like the whole dynamic. I thought it was an awesome idea. I just wanted to highlight that. And if you're watching this, go watch that video. It's really, really good. Both of them, they're really good, and some good pulls in the videos too. So it's if you like pack openings, it's awesome. If you like little games like that, like mystery games,
strategy.
because you gotta really use your strategy. You gotta use your head about how you ask those questions. And I feel like you kind of got Pokeball there a couple of times. Like you could tell that you play this with your son. Like you're a little practiced. I was like, oh, he got him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool, man. I just wanted to highlight
was
that. I don't know that.
We'll have to do it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like, what's a creative idea that I could come up with like that? I don't know.
I'm sitting here. I already thought of one, and
Okay.
I'm like, there's no way for me to actually implement it. But imagine a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Okay, I'm in.
But it's a Nuzlocke. Yeah, it's a Nuzlocke Dungeons and Dragons campaign
All right.
with the Pokemon cards themselves. Right?
Okay.
So you get 6 Pokemon cards.
All right.
That's how you play. You are the trainer,
Okay.
and those are your characters that you could summon and roll for, and you can use the moves on the Pokemon cards.
Oh, okay.
How
I
that
thought
would
you.
translate into an actual
Well,
thing, I have no idea.
I
But,
do
like,
have
let's say that I
stats on every Pokemon for D&D. I have stats. Like you could actually play Pokemon in D&D. I have I have taken the
Yeah.
time to get that. It was a lot, but I love that idea. And I didn't think about it, but you could also use Pokemon cards to roll your stats in D&D, which is really cool.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Did
it
you
would
guys
be- it
have
would-
some cool ideas? I'm a professional vibe coder, so
Oh,
if you need a
let's go.
program or a little automation, let me know.
Dude, I would love to play with that. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I'm trying to get into. Like, I don't have a teacher right now or nothing, but I'm, researching stuff like that. So I definitely find it very interesting. And I don't know. I'd love to pick your brain about it. That's probably put everybody to sleep on here, though. But more about YouTube. So then you guys will have to take the front seat on this one. Ty and Kota, I feel like you guys can explain it well. So Mommy and Daddy had a divorce. Nostalgianomics and Pokeplumber had their little beef. And they,
I had no clue where you're going with that.
yeah, they could have went many different
I
directions.
don't know. I don't know. There's a discussion earlier about what was being talked about, but you started going through. I was like, what situation are we trying to talk about?
Harrison, I know you're going through it, but buddy,
I'm just in like it's like, okay, so put yourself in the shoes of a child whose parents are going through a divorce.
Yeah.
What kind of content?
What kind of content can we make? Oh. Yeah, so what exactly happened with that? Because I mean, I caught the video. I caught somebody talking about the video. I think I heard Mimic Brew do a little bit on it because I mean, we love Mimic Brew here. Shout out to Mimic Brew. But yeah, I watched him talk about it a little bit. I watched somebody else talk about it a little bit, but it was after the video had been dropped, so I couldn't watch Nostalgianomics' original video. So one of y'all who saw that, How did that go? What was it?
Well, I saw all three.
Mm.
Okay, so
Gossip. Gossip girl. That's who
yeah,
you are.
there's some tea, and this really shouldn't have happened in the public eye.
Mhm.
Bad move on both of their
Yeah.
parts. Basically, we'll start with the first one. Pokey Plumber came out and posted a video, and he's like, "Let's talk." Right, and in the video, he spent like 3 minutes to explain that the podcast, which is the Investor and the Collector podcast, is done. They're no longer going to do it, and it was because of some disagreement that they had. We didn't get a lot of detail at that point, and then shortly after, you end up with a live stream of Alex. Now, Alex has a bad habit of starting drama on
Yeah, he
live
takes it
streams.
personal too. He takes it personal.
He definitely takes it personal. So
Yeah.
Alex responds to the Poke Plumber's video like immediately after it drops.
Mm.
And Alex basically said he didn't even take any time to like really take it in.
Yeah.
He basically says, "Well, Nick, went over and hung out with cool trainer Ryan now that he's all big and mighty on his YouTube page and didn't even message me about it, right?"
Ooh.
So basically his position was that we've had this podcast for like over a year now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's every Thursday and Friday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick, fell through and didn't even talk to me. He just said, "I'm busy." That was it, right?
Oh, so he didn't even give him
And
no
so
words on it or nothing.
not too much. And Coda, correct me if you know the full story here. Correct me if I'm missing anything. But basically that was it. He just said that he got a cold shoulder response. He said that I was busy and that nothing happened. That was too crazy. And he just assumed that the Poke Plumber was doing a job. So when that happened, all of a sudden there's a YouTube video that gets uploaded or something like that, and it's him and Cool Trainer Ryan, right? The time that they're supposed to be live, they did a
So he
premiere or
was
something
cheating
like
on him.
that at the same time. And so that really rubbed Alex the wrong way. And he's like, this guy didn't even tell me about this. And I'm sitting here waiting for him. And all of a sudden, he's over there hanging out with Ryan.
Right.
So then Poke Plumber then, in his other video explains, forgive me, I'm getting a little foggy here, but he basically explained that it was a pre-recorded video, and that's not what happened. So Alex finishes off his little like segment on his live, and then that's it. That video ends, right? So then Poke Plumber. By the way, am I coming in okay?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of coming choppy on your guys' side for me.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
okay.
You're good on this side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then Nick uploads another video that says, "Alex, you made me do this."
Oh gosh.
Okay? Yeah.
Huh.
So then what happens is he comes over and he goes, "I can't believe it. I don't want to be doing this, but I'm going to upload it because you got problems, dude. You got problems. You need to go see therapists."
Oh.
But basically, you knew that I was busy. I was doing a job, something, whatever. And me and Ryan, we had done that video like a week ago. And we've been friends for a year, and you're getting all butthurt because I'm now popular on YouTube.
shit.
And so there's like that kind of like, don't get jealous, bro,
That probably
type of
did
thing.
happen.
And then he goes, yeah. And then he goes on to say about how Alex basically like should be grateful that Nick was his only friend on the platform,
Wow.
and that everyone basically hates him, and that if it wasn't for Nick, he would have no one. And I was like, yeesh,
Yeah.
they really are getting into
Yeah,
it over here,
that's-
And so they go on for a little bit more, and then he starts dropping some naughty words,
Mm-hmm.
and tells Alex like, "And if you come at me again, I'll tell you what, I'll destroy your career. There's so much I have on the back end that I could tell everyone. So don't
Oh.
even try, bro."
Wow.
And I was like, yeah,
Those
yeah.
are bold,
So
bold words. You don't. I feel like that's
yeah, and then he
unprofessional,
kept, yeah. Well, then he
Oh,
kept saying
yeah.
like, It was pretty crazy.
Like personally, I don't
Um,
feel like I would want to work with somebody after I heard that they acted like that professionally.
No.
Like I would be like, well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't
Well,
want to tell you anything because if we did have an altercation of some sort, I
mhm.
know that you would expose my secrets or whatever. Like, not that I have any,
especially
and not that I
Alex.
think Alex is. I think that's a easy thing to bluff. It really is an easy thing to
Yeah.
say when you're in the public eyes, like, "Oh, I got dirt on him." You know, like I'm not saying
Well,
he
But
doesn't because
friends also say stuff like that they don't mean, like in conversation.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
could totally take something out of context from something
Yeah.
like that.
100%. That's
absolutely.
a good point.
And he used this as his ammo to be like, here's what I got preloaded in the chamber. And he says, Alex, who else paid $20,000 for your house? Right? And it basically implies that he
Yep.
paid for Alex's house by buying product from Alex. Right? And
That's
he
not him
goes, you
paying
needed the
though.
money.
That's him buying
Right,
product.
but he
Yeah.
paints it in a way to where it's like,
Like it
I
was a
did you a
favor.
favor by buying, yeah, by buying all of this stuff off of you so that you could buy your house.
And he
I
made a
bought your
video
house,
that
kind
was like, I bought a house for selling Pokemon cards. Like,
right, yeah,
oh man, that's dirty.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
honestly, I'm gonna say that's an
that's the
L on the
nitty-gritty.
Poke Plumber, man. I'm gonna call it L on
I
him because,
I will say,
yeah.
sorry,
No,
Sounds
but
go
like
ahead.
both of them.
the nostalgia. Alex took his live stream down where he talked about Pokeplumber, and Pokeplumber took down the response video.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They probably made up.
Um, no,
No.
No, I don't think
for
so.
sure not.
I think they,
I think so.
I think they're both ejected. I think they're both just,
I think they both were just like they mutually assured destruction here. We need to stop.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was
Um,
so bad.
I think Alex is someone that's very easy to target.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
So
is.
I think Nick using that like whole thing shows me personally that Nick, I believe Alex more than I believe Nick,
Okay.
because I'm seeing that side of I will destroy you, I will take you down, like all that,
It
like
was
it
so
it
insecure.
proves a lot of what Alex is
Character.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I did not watch I watched bits and pieces of the second Pokeplumber upload later on because he took it down. Um from my perspective, one, I'll preface this with I do not like Cool Trainer Ryan at all. He is one of my least favorite creators in the entire Pokemon YouTube sphere. He's immature, just the whole like constantly getting drunk, doing stupid
Yeah.
stuff. It's just
Yeah.
it's stuff that it's the
It's not a
kind
good
of
look.
person that I cannot tolerate, and I think is a horrible person to have in a field that is geared towards a younger audience.
Absolutely.
That's my
That's a
Cool
good
Trainer
point.
Ryan rants. That's all as far as I'll go with it.
I
I
mean, he
think
literally opens up every stream. I just have to say this. He literally opens up every video and every stream by saying, "Hey, bros,
Pre-game.
let's get high."
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like smoke your, you
And
know,
his
your
name is
grass.
Yeah.
Cool Trainer. So it's
Yeah,
like
he's an
this
ace
is
trainer.
cool.
It's super cringe. All the stuff he does is cringy. Whatever. If
Like
I
me in
get
high
too
school.
into that, I will get very very angry. So I'm just gonna like screw it. I think
Woosah.
looking at it from like a zoomed out perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I see someone with Nick who I've had a couple of very, very brief conversations with about camera stuff. So like, but he is someone that comes off as genuine, but maybe a bit insecure.
He's a plumber.
Is there
I
insecure
said,
plumber thing that I don't know
it's
about?
like the drummer in a band. I don't know if you get that.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's
like
He's a bass
okay.
player.
of the
Got it.
vocational skills. Like plumbers, they're I don't know. I'm not speaking bad on plumbers. I'm saying they're like they think usually they're the guys who are looking down on the crowd. You know what I'm saying? As far as
Yeah.
vocations, at least in my experience.
um, and with Alex, he is someone that responds quickly and isn't afraid to poke the bear.
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
actually, he takes great pleasure in poking the bear.
He likes it. Yeah.
But I also think that Alex is someone. I think they're both genuine people to begin with. I think they're both like they're. I don't think they're by nature people like Cool Trainer Ryan, like someone that just is hyper self-centered and
Right.
like just like a bad presence, right? But I see Alex, as many times as Nick has been late to the podcast and stuff, Alex has been very patient with that entire process. Like he made as many exceptions as he could. He really did try to work around it. And I think the non-communication again, so I like anime, and one of my favorite stupid tropes is if someone would just talk to each other, it would solve like all the problems. This is a situation where if they had just said, hey, what's going on, and maybe they tried to, maybe one of them did, maybe one of them didn't, whatever.
It was actually Alex who did not. To Plumber's point of view, he did show the text messages, and he was like, I messaged him here, I did it here, and Alex was like, later, I'm watching a movie. There's nothing to talk about. Like Alex kept rejecting
There's
it
avoidance.
because Alex does have.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he has
like
an
well before this actually happened.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, of course.
And I say in this situation, I think they're both in the wrong. But in the like, hey, we should keep a constant open communication because we know that life happens. We both have families. We want to make sure like we're being as flexible as we can. That should have been happening from the beginning. So where this doesn't build to a head, this feels like something that built to a head. And then I understand from Alex's perspective, seeing him now doing stuff with someone that openly hates Alex.
Yep.
Yeah.
As a like, I mean, brother, I am doing nothing but try to be patient with you and work with you on all this stuff. And you're blowing me off, whether or not it's for that video, you're blowing me off and doing videos up with Ryan.
Yeah.
I understand the perspective of saying, oh, and then with Nick coming back and being like, oh, don't get jealous, basically.
He knows that he's kind of causing that though. Like he has to know.
It feels
what it
like
is.
It to me it feels like Nick didn't appreciate Alex's like he didn't respect Alex's brand, like Alex makes a living doing what he does, and Nick could have done more care of understanding that, like imagine like if Alex was the cause of Nick to be late to do a plumbing job.
And Nick's always complaining about like
just
his people not showing up on time or having to like his Instagram is constantly like, oh, someone didn't show up, someone didn't do this, I'm having to go fix this, I'm having to go fix that. So he should be. In the end, I think that Alex definitely should have talked to him, but I think Alex is probably pissed, which he should have been. I think he deserved it, but I think it should have been a look. Let's take a step back. Let's take a couple of days, and let's at least talk it out to where we can break this off in a way that's not just putting this fight out there, which is one of the most frustrating things with YouTube and with a lot of this social media and all is the need to put onto the forefront and make content of this stuff. I hate it. It paints everything so negatively, and like we've talked about before, there's so much negative content already out there. Like, did we need Alex responding to Nick responding to Alex responding to Nick, someone reacting to Nick responding to Alex responding to Nick? No, it should have been a 30-minute phone call where they each explain to each other, hey, like this pissed me off that you are doing stuff with Ryan and not doing stuff with me that we've been planning and trying to work with as patient as I've been, as much as Ryan hates me. Like and for Nick should have been like, like I'm just trying to do my thing. I'm out here, just trying to be with the people. He sees Ryan in a light that I don't think a lot of people see, and maybe Cool Trainer Ryan's all an act, and he's actually a great dude. I don't think so, but who knows? Could be. But I do think there's an element to where Nick is letting the fame go to his head. I think for sure. I mean, it's definitely present, and Cool Trainer Ryan, for as much of a whatever you want to call him he is, has that element. People get hyped when he's going to do signings. He's making content. He's
Pokérev's best friend.
Yeah, he's kind of like
Pokérev's best friend. What a group. It's one of those things that it makes me appreciate people like Pat with the Pocket Monster, who just makes
Yeah.
wholesome.
Good and
Yeah.
entertaining
Wholesome.
content. You know what he's doing because he's a businessman through and through, and he is making money, and he does give away a lot of stuff, but like he's still like profiting from this whole thing, but he's doing it in a way that is beneficial to all parties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
those kind of people in the hobby are so few and far between right now, and I
used
like
to be
Alex
Leonhardt.
to it's
Sorry.
it's just such a
That could have
weird
been a topic.
it's just such a weird sphere to be in with the a lot of the top creators feeding off
is.
of like the drama, feeding off
Yeah, it's all
of
they got right now because
their
products drying up.
community. You know, it's
They're getting hated for
like those
ripping
are our
products too.
readers.
Yeah,
and then
that's
you have people
true.
like Danny Phantom who are getting, you know, whether or not a Plasma Bud at you know was targeting him. He definitely made the video with him at the very least, knowing that he did that.
Yeah.
And being like, these people are all the worst. Sure,
And he
if you don't
told
like
his
Mr.
chat
Grips,
to
it's
talk
one
junk
thing.
too. He pretty much told his chat, like, you can get in my comment section and dog him if you want to. I wouldn't stop you.
I
didn't like that.
Yeah. There's a reason that I will never be a big Pokemon YouTuber.
Yeah,
And
me
the reason
too.
is I so passionately hate that style of YouTube that Opossum Bud does, that honestly that Alex does to a degree, because he is just trying to rile people up. The stuff that, you know, all these people that do this kind of content, man, it's so frustrating, and it gets clicks. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it does.
That's what's gonna get clicks. Like, to get clicks, you need to have a lot
I
of
think
money
Alex
signs.
has kind of
or
leaned
drama.
into it. He's kind of leaned into that rage
Yeah.
bit a lot.
Because
Once he
he
realized
doesn't
it works.
he doesn't
for him.
care.
Yeah,
Ever since the Cabal thing, he's just gone all in
yeah.
my eyes.
And it's working for him.
And you had
You know,
Kyra call
from a
him out in
purely
her
financial
video,
perspective.
and then after Kyra
Definitely
called
right.
him out in her video, he was like making those videos where it's like, you know, where he's talking about those people and these people, and like he starts really separating groups of people. You can watch those YouTubers if you want to that are gonna just do that. And I was like, oh man, he started to kind of, in my opinion, go off there a little bit. But I've learned a
He's
lot
not
of
my
stuff
type of
from
guy.
Alex. What's that?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say. Oh, sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on, Deej. What did you say?
Just real quick. He's not my type of guy. I have learned stuff from him. I used to watch him a little bit, but there's been, I don't remember exactly what video, but I just click don't recommend anymore. Like, I just, you
Yeah,
kind of get a sense of me. I'm kind of a positive person. Like, I don't
me too.
need that. I
Yeah,
can learn other
Yeah.
things. Like, I can,
that's how I am too.
I don't know. That's just me.
I'll catch him every now and then, and especially lately with the drama. But after I learned what I could from him, I feel like watching him past that kind of feeds a monster in me that I don't need that monster fed. Like,
exactly, it puts a certain sort of thought process.
Yeah. What were
So
you
I
saying?
like Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Alex actually a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I did post, like, I commented on both of their channels, and the one thing I said is to Alex is like, I may not agree with everything you say, but I like that you say it very straight, and you're very much like confident in what you're saying about what you think of certain situations. And if everyone's hating on you, you're doing something right. Like, yes, there's problems, but there's a reason why Alex is growing. And there's a reason why the established YouTuber base is not a big fan of his personality. And I think it's because he does challenge people almost in a way to be like not so performative, but to be more mature in the market aspects of this stuff, right? He's a
Right.
big market guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. He's kind of like a mini Rudy, you know,
Yeah,
and I really like Rudy.
I love Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy makes me laugh so much.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, I like Alex. Pokey Plumber, I really like because I like his more wholesome, you know, yippee type of attitude. And he does have good advice too, but it does seem like things are kind of getting to his head. But I also said, oh, well, with more context, now I understand ultimately what both of them should have done. And this is something that I think all YouTubers could do better with. They need to take basically a memo out of like PR teams
Mm-hmm.
and properly, if they're going to disband or break away, they need to properly come together and say, hey guys, we are announcing a formal departure of this product. Because to what Kota said earlier, he was saying, I don't know why they even would like do this publicly. And the reason why they do it publicly is because the audience will crave an answer and they will persist. So they feel obligated to say, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore," right? But
Yeah.
they didn't do it
Yeah.
strategically, which
Yeah.
is
They should have
where,
done it as an, like you just said, an announcement that just said,
yeah, yeah, they
it's
should have
ending.
gone
We're doing our
together.
own things. The
There's
end.
nothing wrong with that. And then that way there's closure. If they don't do closure, their fan base is going to keep prodding at them and prodding at them and prodding at them, and that's going to build up and it would have exploded anyways. This was an inevitability, clearly. But this comes from a rapid growth and immaturity on how to handle emotions from both sides.
Yeah.
That's all I had to say.
It's this, like, it's also a product of the market we're in. Like, everything kind of goes back to the fact that the market's so crazy right now that everything is hot, including content. People are craving, Pokemon content, and
Everybody's mad and looking for
the
somebody
peop-
to blame.
that too. But like, I think there's also just the people that just, the people that like, let's take, it's not a phase.
Mhm.
The Lamar stuff, very laid back, chill dude, just does his thing. I enjoy his content. I think it's good. But let's be honest, a lot of these people are doing the exact same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, Alex is doing kind of has the same 3 talking points, and he just kind of says them over and over again in different ways.
He does.
TJ is doing the same thing, just with different sets or different cards or different graphs. Like, it's not a lot of variety. So there, whenever there is something that is like, oh, spicy thing
spark,
happening over
yeah.
here, people like flock to it. That's why Opossum Bud's doing as well as he's doing, is because he's a centerpiece for the distribution. He's the TMZ of Pokemon. Like, and that's not
That's a good way of putting
that's
it.
not even a diss. Like, just
That's
he
true.
just,
That's
he
true.
just brings in he brings it in. He knows exactly what he is and does exactly. And he truly does not care. And you know what? I give him credit for what he does. I don't necessarily like his personality or how he portrays himself, but I respect that he just does it.
Yeah.
But people just crave content as much as that kind of stuff just gets clicked. So for both sides, there's no incentive except for maybe like ethically to not make these videos because they're just gonna get more clicks and more views and more subs. And a group divided, a divided group that is strongly opposed to each other is a much better audience to have financially and long term, like, growth of your channel, than a group that has a common belief that doesn't have like a strong attachment to one side or the other.
Yeah.
So for them, like, this group, which I think that from what it looks like the consensus went with Alex on this situation, that group is now even stronger behind Alex and is going to take even more for them to go away. Versus if they're still together, like, that common group would just kind of be floating and they wouldn't be strongly on either side. So there's no incentive not to. I'm not saying that's why they did it, but like, logistically, why not? Why not just make negative content? Because a negative emotion is so much easier to get from someone than a positive emotion. So if I can make a bunch of negative emotions happen, but have you attached to me negative towards someone else, then I can, if I decide to do that, I could probably build a base pretty quickly. And I'm not saying that as like an arrogant, like, I'm some great personality. But if
we can create fake drama between us in the Discord or something and run with it and get more.
If I made, because I believe in the quality of the content that I put out, and that's why I don't put out content very often, is because I think too much on it. If I was just making drama videos, if I was doing exactly what Opossum Bud does, I could probably outpace his growth purely because people crave it so much, and maybe there's gonna be a group that likes a better, cleaner version of that aesthetically than him talking into his. Which I love those headphones, and I'm jealous he still has them because I could never find them anymore. The little, like, Apple, whatever.
Come with it.
Like, we're in a weird time in Pokemon where there is so much negative sentiment that is the easiest way to grow. The negative sentiment is winning out. Maybe not, I don't think it's the majority's opinion, but the loudest minority's opinion right now is anger.
Deej, how long have you been making content for YouTube?
I started probably like a year ago, November. I probably went till December and then stopped for a year and started up again in November.
Okay. Because you've
So
got a pretty good following, so I'm like, when did it really take
I
off for
mean,
you?
I have 4,000 subs, but a lot of it is from like when I first started, I was doing a lot of shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing like quiz shorts for my slabs. I was like revealing my slabs with
Oh
like a
yeah, they love that
quiz
stuff.
to try and get people to guess it. Those did pretty well. It was a lot of work though, and it's so hard to get monetized with shorts, so I just felt like I was actually wasting my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I stopped, and then I realized like I have stuff I can share, so I might as well just make content, whenever I feel like it, nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my subs don't watch my long form content, unfortunately, because they came
No.
from
The
shorts.
shorts. I got you.
So
I
I
got you.
would say I'm really more of a small creator than it looks like when you
Well,
look at
it's
my
humble of you to say
page.
Got
that,
it.
and I feel like you're not giving yourself enough credit because you're also very creative, and
Hawkins,
I definitely wanted to like
I'm
drill into you a little bit more, DJ. I feel like you got some information for us. I didn't have good
Okay.
enough questions prepared, but I will So did you do? I know you're kind of discrediting yourself, even though I know you earned every one of your subs, shorts or not. Like they were saying earlier, do definitely get in touch with Gamba God. I think he goes as Zero Gravity in the Discord.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm trying to get with him too. He has some awesome ideas, and I think you two together would be like something to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? Like
I
it would be pretty
totally
awesome to
agree.
see. Um, but I do ask everybody who's a guest on here, what's something that they would tell someone who wants to do what they would do. I also would like to know something that you have failed at as a content creator or business owner. So in whatever order you want, something you failed at, and something you would tell somebody who wants to do what you do.
Yeah, so I would say for somebody that wants to do what I'm doing, where I am not a big store. I don't make a ton of money. I do make money because it's impossible not to when you've been investing in this for 5 years
Yep.
and for a lot longer. Like I was telling you, my slabs back there are from boxes I opened. First edition Gym Heroes, first edition Rocket boxes for $300
Mm-hmm.
back in 2012 a
Crazy.
piece. And
Mm.
so that's what I would like to impart on people. Like it's so like for people that are just getting back into it, you just want to super speed everything. Like it really is hard not to
Mm-hmm.
just be like, well, I want to get all the cards. I want to complete all the sets.
That
But
was
like
me.
you really gotta
Mhm.
you gotta build up to it. Like in a video I'm gonna be putting out soon, I had a quote in there that came from a story. I'll just say it on here because I think it's really valuable. I was in a family vacation in Jamaica, and we were doing a hike on a mountain, and we were with this other family, and there was this kid that was just constantly just talking about this other mountain over there because you could see like a waterfall and it looked cool. Like, sure, it looked cool, but the guide was like, "Billy Mon, worry about your own mountain, Mon." Like,
Mhm.
dude, you're on a mountain in Jamaica, and all you're doing is worrying about that other mountain over there.
Yeah.
And I
Enjoy
think
that.
that's such a valuable lesson for Pokemon, especially because everybody's so public with what they have.
Right.
It's so easy to go on and just see, like, oh, I want that. I want that. I don't have that. I want that. Just appreciate where you're at right now
Mm-hmm.
and understand in 3 to 5 years, you can be there if you want to be. So that would be my advice on the business side of it. Don't look at others and desire. Like, just worry about what you have
Yep.
because that's really when the FOMO comes in and the bad feelings and the burnout and like
I
it
think that's
becomes
solid.
really hard on
That's
them.
solid as advice. Like I wish. I mean,
Yeah.
people did tell me that before, but I wish I would have listened. You know what I mean? Like, cause I definitely
Yeah.
jumped in feet first. Like I was all the way up to my neck, and I hoarded a lot of that stuff, which put me behind. And now you see me trying to catch up. So that's exactly the
That
lesson I
goes
learned.
along with my mistake. It
Mm-hmm.
goes along with that exactly. Like the way that I collect for free. I say it in all my videos. I collect for free and it's not a joke. I make money and I don't have a distributor and I don't really scalp. I make money opening product.
Mm-hmm.
Um But the bad advice that I had was, or my mistake was not selling stuff, like not staying on top of my bulk.
Yeah.
Buying investments, buying a case of booster boxes and just sitting on that
Yeah.
just doesn't work for me because then I'm out of my capital. My capital's gone.
Yep.
So what I
Opportunity
do is
cost.
I lost all my capital for a long time. So my business grew super slowly, like I was counting on my singles.
Mm.
But what I learned to do was just get to break even, get your investment back, and then you're free riding on your extra or whatever. And at that point, you can keep it. There's no stress. You got your money
Yep.
back. You can decide to keep it. You can decide to sell it for profit. And you have your investment back to go make another investment and try and make another bag. It's like a crypto term, like make a bag, like
Yep.
make your
Mhm.
money back, keep the bag, you
Yep.
know?
Oh
So
yeah.
that was something I pulled a lot from crypto, actually, my crypto life into Pokemon.
That's
And
smart.
that that was where I made a big mistake, was just trying to hold all the coins, the hodlers, you know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for some reason,
Gotta
there's
make
a
your
lot of
money back.
correlation to crypto and Pokemon. I've noticed that there's some things that are similar between the two that I'm starting to pick up on. That's pretty
If
interesting.
if you go back to my channel, I did make a video that's called "Crypto is Pokemon."
Oh yeah, I'll
So
check
if
that
you're
one out.
interested in
Yeah,
hearing my correlation, I,
yeah.
it's another video that performed extremely bad, but
I'll definitely check that out. It sounds
I thought
fascinating.
it was interesting.
Yeah. And you two guys, I want you to impart some of your wisdom too. You're not gonna get away with this. You got blue, you
Please,
got red. I want you to drop some knowledge on
blue
us.
and red.
So,
All right.
okay, red gang, let's go.
I guess yeah. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Here's my advice. Uh, when you do decide to sell your stuff, understand that it's gonna go extremely slow and then extremely fast.
That's solid.
You will think that you have a lot of product, and then once it starts to roll out, you will quickly realize you don't have that much.
Start sweating.
So yeah,
The market
it's
gets
a
on you.
weird
It's gone.
and this is because of market demand. What's
Yeah.
going to happen is that yeah, in the beginning, no one's buying anything. You might get one or two out, and then you'll get established, and then all of a sudden, it just all disappears.
Mm-hmm.
One major mistake is putting too much of your product. Like let's say you have like an online store, an eBay or something like that, putting all of your inventory up all at once. Big
Good
mistake
advice.
because there will be an opportunity that you're missing, and somebody will go over there and buy all 10 of your booster boxes or
Yep.
something, and you didn't realize that you missed you know, the ride up
Right.
basically.
That's
Mhm.
what happened to me. In a way.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the next thing is don't feel horrible about being perceived as being someone taking advantage of the market. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who will make you feel bad about doing that, but understand that like everyone is in it. If you want to get into invest or be a seller or whatever, like you can't play both sides and
Yeah,
feel
that's where I'm
good
at.
about that.
That's where I'm
You
at.
just have to be you have to be honest about it. And you don't have to take advantage of people. Like you don't have to be crazy about it, but don't feel bad taking gains.
You're right.
That's a like secure your bag, otherwise, you are, as Deej said, gonna lose all of your capital. Like it's gonna sit in the back,
Yeah.
right? And you're not gonna be able to move it. Like me personally, I'm constantly cycling through debt. And that's okay. Also,
Mm-hmm.
just don't over leverage yourself.
You're
Make
right.
sure you're getting some out and
Mhm.
keep probably 10 to 20% more than you initially intended
Yep.
in the back for times like this,
Yep.
right?
That's smart.
There's nothing
Good
wrong with
advice.
that.
Good
Yeah.
advice.
As far as mistakes go, uh missing like not going with gut feelings, when I was really getting into this like in the beginning, I was looking at Stellar Crown at like 90 to $100 a box,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, I'll get it later. I'll sit on it. I'll
Yeah.
go buy this instead." And it was gone. And it's been $200. Like, and if it happens, it happens. Life goes on. But there is
The
opportunity
one that got away.
and all sorts of things. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go specifically to Pokemon Go right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Go is out of it's out of print. Everybody knows it. It's a unwanted set, but understand we are coming up to now 10 years
Mm-hmm.
of Pogo, right?
Right.
And it has radiant collections of the starters.
And the Ditto
It-
cards.
it's
are
got-
sick.
That's so good.
Yeah, and the Ditto.
It's
It's
all
got
the popular Pokemon.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
got
the
that
Ditto.
sweet Mewtwo.
I really do want the Ditto
Yeah.
cards.
And
Yeah,
that 10-year coincides with the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, it does.
Right. And like, like
Investment
you
advice.
can go buy that. Yeah, you can go buy that, or you can pay $300 for Destined Rivals. Take
Right.
your pick,
Yeah.
I tell you what,
Or-
Rudy's doing. Rudy's going toward the direction nobody else is. There's a point there.
Right. I mean, he's always saying like, "Hey guys, go instead of spending 220 on, Surging Sparks, spend that 220 on a box of Brilliant Stars."
Yeah.
Like he's all
Or
about
Silver
buying Sword and
Tempest.
Shield.
Yeah.
And in a market like this, if you feel confident that demand will still be there in the future, not demand for certain items, but just general demand, it makes a lot more sense to buy older out of print sets in such a speculative market right now, where people are taking risks and you don't know who's gonna buy a product to rip versus to flip, right?
Right.
So when you have like a large 50-50 situation going on here, buy the stuff that's older because it should retain its value.
Right.
And I did not make those decisions, and I regret it now.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was my advice.
The 5 cases of Paradox Rift for 480 that I got offered. 480 each.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude.
Keeps me up at
See?
night.
Yeah, and Paradox Rift is a great set. It's
It is
very
a good set.
like deep,
Love it. Yeah.
you know. Oh,
It's a
and
very
I
good
didn't
set.
say this earlier about Destined Rivals. I'm just gonna inject this one last thing. Destined Rivals is really exciting because the set is actually extremely deep, which means it's going to be hard to pull the SIR or the IR that you want. But that's how I like my sets.
That's what I was
I
saying.
like Paradox
People
Rift.
will enjoy it
I
for
like-
that reason.
Yeah, I like Paldea Evolve because there's so much that you can get that maybe isn't exactly what you want.
Yeah, you're
So,
gonna pull
that's-
something, but it ain't gonna be what you were aiming to pull. Yeah.
Right, which encourages trading and selling, and it's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
What about you, Kota?
I'll start with the mistake. The mistake that I made, and I have continued to make at times, is taking all of this way too seriously. Taking every aspect of this, content creation, business side, social media, all that stuff way too seriously. In the end, if there is any aspect of this that is not fun, don't do it. If for me right now, content creation hasn't been fun just because I don't know what to make.
Right.
I've realized that I don't necessarily like making the type of videos I was making,
Mm-hmm.
or at the very least, I don't have anything else to say
Right.
that I feel is worth saying. Because sure, I could make videos of the various things that are happening right now. I could make videos on the new sets. I could make videos on the market.
Let's
And-
plays.
Do them well, have my production value that I'm very proud of, and probably do perfectly fine. I just don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt guilty about that for quite a while because there is this element of if you're not doing all the things that you can be doing, you're not taking it seriously.
Right.
In the end, that's going to go into my advice. Don't be afraid, especially early on. Especially if you're in the position like me or a lot of the people that watch a lot of this content, you're just starting off, not super deep into it. If it's just not like what you want to do, or it's taking too much time and effort and mental wear than deserves.
Right.
For all of us, we have our day job that we do.
Yeah.
And for me, my day job is doing content, and I love it, and I love what I do. And then my night job is the business side of it, the buying and selling collections, all that stuff. if it became, maybe the better way to phrase this is be okay with letting it go. Be okay with letting any aspect of this go. If it's, you know what, this business part is making me feel so guilty because I'm having to mark stuff up and I can't really enjoy collecting anymore because every time I get anything from my collection, I look at it as something that could be making me money, you know, and if that kind of stuff stresses you out too much, just maybe don't do the business part. You know, if the content is too stressful to make because it's takes a lot of time, especially if you really want to like overproduce like I do, it takes a lot of time to make a video. It may not be what you want to do. You know, if
that's why my videos
collecting,
are like they are. Like I just make it easier on me.
If collecting is something that you're just not finding joy anymore because you love the business side so much, don't collect right now. Just whatever aspect of what's happening right now, be okay with letting any of it go. Because if you try to hold on to all of it and you try to do everything and you put it at a point at which it doesn't, like on a pedestal it doesn't deserve, on a level of priority that it doesn't deserve, everything will suffer for it, including that thing. So find out what you want to do. Find the niche of the part of it that you enjoy the most, and make that the priority, and let everything else kind of like fall into place behind it, or you know, fall to the wayside if that be the case. Just don't take everything too seriously, because if you take it too seriously in this market where it's such low margins and it's stressful and everyone's just trying to fight over the same tiny piece of pie that's left, you will be miserable and you will hate everything that you're doing, even if you're making money.
Yeah,
that's true. My advice, just everything with open hands, and if you need to let it go, let it go. It's all good. You know, it won't be the end of the world. It may suck and you put a lot of effort and stuff, but I'm not making content right now because I just don't want to, or I haven't figured out what I'm doing, or I may completely change it, but that's okay. It's all good.
Solid advice. I quit.
And with that,
one more thing, and then I'll let you guys plug your stuff, and we'll call it a wrap. Anybody who wants to put in on this one can. What is a goal that you would like to accomplish with what you're doing? Whether it be personal, I would like for this to be something that you don't go around saying, because I know when it comes to my goals, I've been told by therapists and stuff to keep them to myself because I get dopamine from sharing them, and I need to get that dopamine from accomplishing them. So,
I like that. I've never heard that.
That's a big ADHD thing. I've heard that.
I've
from
been
my
told
therapist
that's
as well.
what I need to switch on doing, and that I'm getting in my own way. So I want to kind of be the devil's advocate here and get you guys to give yourself some dopamine by sharing your goals, because I would like to hear some other people's goals.
Okay.
I'll roll with it. I kind of already said earlier, but I want to do what I'm doing successfully enough to be able to give as much back to the community as I can, and to do as many giveaway live streams and all that kind of stuff. Like I want to be Danny Phantom, and I don't even necessarily mean like financially, though. You know, obviously that's great and that'd be awesome, but like just being able to make content, to build a community, to be able to grow that and be a good place for people to, like, you know, like Danny, like Deep Pocket Monster, like people can just come to and just purely enjoy something,
Right.
and just really connect with it. And even when it's a market like is right now, where, you know, all this stuff is borderline inaccessible, you could still enjoy an aspect of it. There's always that aspect. Like, I can't get Destined Rivals, but I can't wait for Pat to drop his next I'm trying to complete this random vintage set challenge, because I know it's going to be really entertaining. He's a great storyteller.
Yep.
And no matter what's happening in the market, whether it's crashing or going crazy, that content will be evergreen and good.
Right.
Like, that kind of personality and that kind of presence is something I really want to be. And
I think you can definitely
that's probably something I probably couldn't, but
I think you could.
I think you could.
You definitely have a personality. I think you could do what those guys do, and do it in your own way, where it wouldn't even and like the way you're saying it sounds like an imitation, but I think you would do it in a way that would be your own. Like
Yeah.
your personality, the way that you speak and care for others and support others, even by being stern. Okay, so this is kind of sideways, but um, Harry Potter. I know that has nothing to do with Pokemon, but in Harry Potter, there's a character in there that strikes in me more than the rest of them, and that's Neville Longbottom. And that's because, he's the one that stood up to Harry. He stood up to his friends in the first one. He was like, you guys are going to get us in trouble. I know that this is the boy who lived, but I'm going to stop you, even though they petrified him and he was nothing, He something about him was wholesome, and he offered this stern support. It's harder to stand up to your friends than it is to stand up to an enemy. And I feel like you would offer a very gentle standing up to your friend, if that makes any sense. That's something that we all need as a society right now. We need community, and we need somebody who can not necessarily be our dad or something, but a big brother, yeah. Somebody who's helping us out while still being real with us. I think that would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
something you would
Guiding with
excel
best
at.
interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like a gentle but strong hand. I don't know how else to say it, but
Mm.
I know I went
I
around my
always
ass to
say,
get to my elbow.
Especially
there.
when it comes to lighting.
I always
Really
say
strong hand with
strike.
lighting.
My saying is strike with a firm hand, but reach out with an open palm.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that was great.
And see, now I feel like
Um,
I know you a little better from asking you that question. I know, knowing you have that goal, I feel like I know a little bit more of you, and that makes me happy. So that's why I
Yeah.
like these questions. I know, I'm sorry if it is intrusive or personal, but like not just for the podcast. I want to get to know you guys on, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, those answers matter.
Perfect. Um, well, I'll say this about me. One of the goals that I have is I really want to explore more of my true voice when it comes to this hobby. I want to explore content creation beyond just like, hey, this is what's going on this week, or the
I can
occasional,
tell. I can tell you're
random.
itching. Yeah.
I have so many thoughts, and prior to us starting this, one of the things that I was talking about in this was how I want to make a video that really explores why Pokemon is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about Pokemon? It's
Oh,
not
the
exceptional in
psychology
any
and stuff.
way. Well, just why is it so good for investment? Why is it not Magic? Magic is not as good. Pokemon doesn't sell like it sells well financially, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't sell well emotionally like other products and medias do. But
Mm-hmm.
yet Pokemon still somehow wiggles its way to be one of the primary franchises.
Right.
The shows, they're okay. The anime is not the most amazing anime ever. There's a lot of plenty like other animes that
Don't
are
tell my
better.
daughter that.
You know, I sorry, but you know what I mean. Like, there's
Yeah.
just others that excel beyond that. The games are inadequate to modern
Yeah. And
sensibilities. Yet
glitchy
it's
and run
still,
at 30 frames per
yeah.
second if you're lucky.
Like, I went and played Dragon Quest Monsters.
Oh
Dragon
yeah.
Quest Monsters was the original
That
Pokemon,
game's sick
right?
too.
But yet, yeah, it's fun. It's got everything. It's literally the same platform,
Mm-hmm.
yet Pokemon far exceeds it in terms of being, recognized. Why? Dragon Quest Monsters has a Toriyama as the artist. It has this
But you
long
can't trade.
legacy of, I guess,
Can't get
maybe
Alakazam,
that's
buddy.
what it is. Maybe,
No, that the
maybe.
creators actually said that I forgot his name, but the guy who coded the game said that that's where they got the idea for trading was Dragon Quest. The helmet that you get in Dragon Quest that helps you do something, breed or do something with
Mhm.
better. They're super rare drops. You're lucky if you can get one. Well, one of his buddies had two. And he was like, "What if you could give me one?" And that's where they were like,
That makes
"Oh,
sense.
link cables. We can trade helmets."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Sorry, I didn't
And
mean to
and
interrupt you, but you made me think of that.
no, and that's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. Maybe what it is that that Pokemon has that other markets don't, or other
Mm-hmm.
IPs, is that it does have this sense of connecting with other people, and it's
Yes.
built in to the core of the entire
And
franchise.
can I say something, dude? For you
Yeah.
specifically, at least in my opinion, I think something that you're aching to do just from observation is more comedic stuff. I think that you have like a comedy bone in you that you are hiding
Yeah.
from your
Yeah,
content. And I
probably.
feel like if you leaned into that, then people would get to know you in a better way. I mean,
Well,
I'm in no way harping on you. I'm saying that like I feel like if you were to be able to find a way to let that out a little bit, that you would feel like you were blossoming. I would love to
yeah.
see it too because I think you're hilarious.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll say this. This is a little bit personal about me. I don't feel that I reflect humor very well. Like when people tell me a joke,
Hmm.
I'll think the joke is funny, but I don't really like laugh,
Right.
right? I think that there are some things that I find funny, but for some reason, I don't like. I think it's like I'm gonna get super personal,
Go
okay?
ahead.
I
Yeah.
don't like the way that my laugh sounds, okay?
Ah.
So
Okay.
because I don't like how it sounds, I always chose to hush my laughs. Because
Hmm.
I hush my laughs, I
See.
don't like, ha 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 very often.
Hmm.
And so it takes a lot to get that out of me, but I do crave it, right? So maybe you're onto
You
something
know,
there that
when
I don't
people are
notice a lot.
blind, they say they can hear better. And
Yeah,
when people can't speak, that they learn to speak with their body. Like
yeah,
you give yourself a superpower by muting something, and I think
yeah,
that by muting your laughter, you've given yourself a sense of humor that I can smell because I have a weird sense of humor.
yeah.
But like I can smell it on you, and I'm like, where's it at? And I know you drop little nuggets, so like I know it's in there.
Yeah, well,
And I think of
I keep a lot of it checked too because I have some dark sense of humor too.
right,
That I'm like, I
right.
don't need
That's
to
what I
get
mean.
canceled
If
today.
you could find a way to put a little bit of that into your content, I think you would be making more content because you would be having fun with the comedy. Like I just personally could see you doing like when Rudy is his best when he's being comedic. I feel like
Yeah, when he's
you
being
doing that
ridiculous in the
style of
beginning.
comedy would
Yeah,
be you would kill that. Personally, I think.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite content creator right now. And he's not even a Pokemon content creator. He's
Yeah,
just a general market content
yeah.
creator
We
with a
talk
flair of
cardboard.
TCG on it.
We talk markets.
The cardboard world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Um and maybe that's it. It's like the forbidden fruit comedy that I like. It's that
Hmm.
raunchy dark humor.
Yeah.
And we see this with a lot of comedians in general who in their personal lives they're not very like I don't want to say I'm unhappy. That's not the right word, but
Yeah.
they
Disgruntled.
themselves are holding something in them that's not coming out
Hmm.
properly, but it also translates to the funniest shit you could
Right.
possibly hear,
Well, I mean, look
right?
at
And I think
Picasso. I mean, Van Gogh. He was one of the most depressed people in the world, but he took his depression and turned it into something beautiful and commanded color in a way that no one to this day could do. And he
I
was a
think
depressed
only
guy.
yeah, I think only depressed people can inspire massive amounts of change
Hmm.
and hold on to that responsibility well. If you look at like great people like
That's
Abraham
deep.
Lincoln and stuff, they
Yeah.
were also extremely depressed, and he even made a statement saying, "If it wasn't for my manic depression through my entire life, I
Hmm.
wouldn't be able to emotionally handle the loss of my men."
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Like it's that kind of like their
Mhm.
bodies have been trained to adapt to this sucks and
Yeah.
we're gonna
We're
get
gonna get
through it,
through it.
you
Yeah.
know?
Get him to take a
Um
shower.
and
Yeah.
and
Whatever. Yeah.
and and comedians have a way of realizing and twisting and manipulating people's
Hmm.
emotions
Hmm.
and pulling at the string just enough to
Yeah.
not snap it but to bend the line
Right.
and I think that makes them the wisest people among us because they
Yeah.
know how to handle
It's like
every
taboo.
single, yeah, they know how to handle every single personality type and know how to like, work them a little bit to get
Yeah.
them to laugh, even though they shouldn't. So yeah, I totally appreciate you saying all that.
But it's
I
like
know that was
projecting
a
too. You can
tangent.
project your ha-has through other people because
Yeah,
you don't want to
yeah,
make them yourself. So it's like I could see that.
right,
Yeah. So
right.
I'm just
But
observing. So I don't. I hope I don't like. I'm not striking a nerve or anything
no,
like that. Like I really just. I'm
no, no,
calling like I see it.
it makes me feel better because there is a part of me that does agree with you and feels that same way. And there's a lot that, beyond just the money side of things, I have a lot of interest in philosophy
Mm-hmm.
and what is it that
Me
makes
too.
this all work so well,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Pokemon's not my only hobby. I love a lot of different things, but Pokemon is a primary focus for me. But the question is, even for myself, why did I pick Pokemon out of all things? It's not my favorite game. I love it,
That
but
same
it's
thing I
not
feel.
my favorite. you know?
Same thing I feel, and there's a reason, and I think you hit it on the head earlier when you said connection, my friend, and that's what we're all looking
Yeah,
for. Is Pokemon might not be our favorite, but it is the one that breeds
that
connection the
most
most,
connects. I think
and yep, that's what it
we all
is.
have, you know, yeah, that feeling. Everyone has a favorite Pokemon,
And I think
right?
that that is my goal in a sense is to sort of kind of what I'm saying to you two, and I have one for D's prepared already too, but like it I want to be able to let people get to know me, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. I mean, not that I'm not
Mhm.
myself right now, but I mean, if you've watched my content from the beginning until now, I'm sorry, first off. But if you have, then you know that I've always been uncomfortable. I've always been awkward, and I've always felt weird on camera, but I'm still here. I'm still trying. I'm putting my best foot forward. I want to be able to express myself in this format. I used to hate being on pictures, cameras, videos, sound recordings, anything. And I'm a musician,
Same.
but
Same.
I'm testing myself in ways I never have before, and I want to be able to say that I did do that, and I want to know that I was able to be me, my genuine self, in a way that could garner an audience. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be that and find that in myself, and by feeling that way, I feel like I'm starting to see it in other people and be like, I wonder what their thing is that they're wanting to put in their content, but they're scared to do, or whatever
Yeah.
it is, you know. And I mean, not necessarily scared, but you could see it on it. Like with you, like I said, I could smell it, you know. With Kota,
Mhm.
I took with what he was saying, and I could totally feel that and see it on a higher level. Like oh, this is my goal. I'm like, I could see you in that goal because of these qualities I've noticed you have, you know. So, and with Deej, I see him as an intellectual. I see him as a deep thinker, and I think there's a lot that, like a quiet person has a lot to say kind of thing. Like I feel like
Mhm.
you could literally sit us down and teach us a course on something and not break a sweat, and not be condescending and not be, you know what I mean? Like that's a hard thing to find nowadays. And I know we just met. I've got a lot more time with these guys, but that's how you strike me as somebody who, you could, I don't know if teach is the right word, but I want to learn from you if that makes any sense. Like I trust you and your knowledge.
Appreciate that a lot, honestly, because kind of goes with what I was going to say for one of my goals, where YouTube is kind of like a side thing for me, but it's really kind of helped me find myself. I have definitely been an introverted, quiet person. That's my personality. I'm shy. But being on YouTube, being in front of a camera, like it is only you. Like if you're not talking, then what's the point?
Right.
So like it's kind of helped me like find my voice in a way where like I can be myself more,
That's awesome.
even in real life.
Yeah.
So my goal is to try and bring some of that into my career
Mhm.
where I want to like for instance, GitHub Copilot is like one of the AI tools to help people write code.
Mhm.
A lot of software engineers are really scared of it.
Mhm.
I'm a personal believer that like because they're like, well, it makes errors or it writes bad code. I'm like, okay, so you're the developer that doesn't write buggy code. I need to hire you then, right?
Yeah.
Like fail fast. So
Yeah.
like I don't want to go on to that subject, but anyways, I want to make a YouTube video for my company for people to like teach them how to use these tools in the
There you
right way,
go.
ethically.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
want to be able to use these skills in my other life as well. So it's not just like me trying to like I'm utilizing my Pokemon business as a way to build myself
Yeah,
up,
you're
not
working
just
out your
for
muscle. Yeah, you're like strengthening
yeah.
yourself to do it. I feel like I've done that in a way too, and that goes back to what Ty was saying about why Pokemon, why this. And I've been saying that this whole time is like my first video, I was like, I always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I never thought it would be Pokemon. And like I have
Mhm.
a million hobbies. I have a million things that I'm in. I've got novels that I haven't completed and things that I could be talking about for days. Music, if I brought my music onto my channel, well, first off, I'd actually have followers, and second off, it would be a whole different monster. You know what I mean? But for some reason it was Pokemon, and it's gotten this connection, and it's gotten me to come out of my shell, like you said, and not be afraid of camera. Like I totally can like empathize with what you're saying completely. And I'm an ambivert, so like I'm more I'm extroverted when I need to be. Like I have people skills, so I can use those, but I will run out of battery. And so like I am introverted in that way. So I'm like an introverted extrovert, if that makes any sense. That's
You're
an
a
ambivert. Yeah, yeah, daywalker. Yeah, but I will run out of battery super fast. So it's not all glory, but I do have the skills when I need them. Like it's like classroom skills or bar room skills. Like you walk in there and you can like meet people and these two people would be cool to hang out with, and let's get those guys together because they're gonna be fun. And like the next thing you know, you've set up a good time for everybody, and it's like. But by the end of the night, you're like, all right, guys, I'm going back to my place, and I'll see y'all in like a month.
Bye.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
I love this. I think hearing y'all's goals was actually
awesome.
refreshing. Yeah, it was really refreshing. And like I said, I got to know you better, and I didn't know how to go about asking that question. I think it was the best to do it the way I did, just shoot from the hip.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. And if you noticed, all of the answers had nothing to do with what we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has to do with what
You know,
you feel,
like-
and what you got, and that's how I know
Yeah,
you're being
yeah,
honest. You're being honest.
Yeah.
You're not putting on the Pokemon show. You're like
Right. We're not like, I want better thumbnails.
Yeah.
Like, that's our goal.
I want to
you
be
know?
Mr. Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I really enjoyed this, especially that part was my favorite by far. I do feel like I know you guys better, and
Conversations.
I hope the audience feels. Yeah.
My goal is for everyone to go to Savage Rips and get one of these shirts.
Mine's backwards.
Shout
I'll
out
have
to
to
Sav.
tune in.
Mine's inverted because of the camera, but
Yeah, we got the reverse rocket.
SavSavage.com to buy your Gloria Team Rocket shirt. Get it today, so you can go get it when Destined Rivals comes out, and you can rock it.
I heard that if someone does a pack break, he's going to give out free shirts.
Oh,
That's what I heard.
Ooh.
Now, obviously, he's going to be like, dude, what are you doing right now? I'm not giving out free shirts. But no,
I can't wait for him to clip this and put it
Right,
on.
this is going to show up.
This
on
will
TikTok.
be
He's
on
like,
TikTok.
Get your shirt now.
Yeah, this will be
Let
on
me say
TikTok.
for the algorithm, giveaway, free.
The top 10 free giveaways. But yeah, I want you guys plug your stuff, tell your site, whatever you got going on, everything. I mean, also send me stuff so I can put it in the description. Thank y'all for being here. We ran at 2 hours and 45 minutes now. Could you believe it?
I can. We're really getting
Absolutely
going
believe
for 3 hours. Yeah.
We
But,
could have kept talking too if it wasn't 1 in the morning.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Deej. I know that you jumping on here. We crazy clown. We will keep you here all night. But I've enjoyed talking to you.
Good, I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
coming.
Yeah.
I hope
I
you'll come
really
back.
appreciate you showing an interest. I
Yeah,
appreciate you showing an interest. I mean, I really enjoyed this conversation. Really, like you said, I'm an intellectual. I like to think of myself like that. I feel like this whole conversation was that.
That's what we're trying to do.
I really,
You'll get along well
really
here because
enjoyed it.
this is about 85% of the calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Just
is
this.
just
And then at the end,
yeah.
us going, man, we should have made a podcast of that.
yeah, we should have recorded this. But we'll start with you, Deej. You can let people know how to find you.
Sure. Sure. So my channel is Catch 'Em All Cards on YouTube. You can look at my about if you're really interested in looking at my eBay store. That's really not my purpose of being here. It's more of just to support my collection.
Respect.
You can expect some more fun Guess Who videos. I'm putting
Yes.
out a birthday pack opening, testing birthday luck with the Journey Together booster box. So
Awesome.
that'll be coming out later this week.
Super cool.
During this conversation, I just released a video for a PSA return, and I have on the thumbnail 10 common cards that sold already from that return.
Oh, I'll check that
Interesting
one out.
stuff.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Common
Yeah.
cards? Like just regular old
Common.
circles?
Yep.
Okay.
Like
Check
a
it out, guys.
reverse. I'll tell you one right now. A reverse Shinji Konda Kecleon from Surging Sparks sold
Oh,
for
yeah.
$100.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
how much?
$100 common card.
No. I have like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah, but guarantee you, look
Okay.
through them, see if they're 10s.
It's
Old
that
cards
low pop.
are- low pop. People don't look at their common cards. They don't even put them in sleeves half the time. Like these are cards that people want, but most people, the scalpers, the people
They're
that aren't deep in
overlooking.
the hobby, really, they don't look at all. They literally don't look at it.
What a
Literally.
what a blessing that we had this conversation, and I'm like trying to get rid of my stuff, and you like making me think about this stuff in a different way. That's
I mean
awesome.
that
For
Shinji
sure.
Kanda Absol would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
about to
Get
say.
that.
I sold that one 3 times already in non-reverse hollow for $50 3 times.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, see,
You can
Smart.
look, everyone out there, you
Smart.
can make money in this without having a distribution or even sealed product. You know,
Unless you're
you
me.
may have to
Return
wait
in 10 cents.
8 business months for PSA, but
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
true.
Yep.
What about you,
And they
Coda?
don't sell like hotcakes, but
Yeah,
yeah, they
but they
sell.
sell. What about you,
Yep.
Coda? Where can they find you?
Kota's Collectibles on everything. TCG Player, YouTube. Maybe I'll post a video again. I don't know.
SoundCloud.
um,
Please.
um, I get a lot of questions, and this is actually not one of those like YouTube. Like I get a lot of questions. People have asked me like where I like lighting stuff and where you can get that. In the description of the video, how to make Pokemon card content. All of my links to what I use are there. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, also hit me up on Instagram and Discord if you ever have questions about the production side of content creation, because that is what I do full time, way too much, and I have a lot of information I can just kind of throw at people.
And he's
So
our he really is our go-to guy in the Discord when it comes to lighting. I mean, you can see his production value; it's beautiful. So
Yeah,
if you
so
guys
much
are
better.
looking for that stuff, I do highly recommend you get your butt to his video he's talking about, and use his affiliate links to show some support for him, because he really does look out for us when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if you're gonna get that stuff anyway, he's recommending the good stuff, and you know, you're just helping out by doing that at that point. And we appreciate that. What about you, Ty?
Well, you can find me on YouTube under TygersTCGDen. I have a website also with the same name, TygersTCGDen.com. It is only showing inventory from Monday to Thursday, and it is a rotating inventory. Basically, the way it works is that I'm getting the stuff off of my sales in the physical shop and what I'm buying in. So during the weekends, I close it so that way I don't accidentally send something that someone may order. But then come Monday, I get all of my stuff allocated, all the big stuff, throw it up on the site, and you get an opportunity to buy something that is under market and pretty cool and maybe unique. So check it out. Also, if you happen to live in the San Diego area, or if you are traveling to the San Diego area, excuse me, um, come to Tesoro at Cultured Vibe. That is the name of the store that I work at. It's at Cultured Vibe in Escondido, California. And Tesoro, come say hi. Come check out the shop. Other than that, I just hit my camera and I ended my thing.
go panic sell all your sealed product.
Also,
Yes, bring it to me.
Oh, there goes one light.
yeah, make sure that you look in the description as well to join the Discord, because all of us, myself included, I got some stuff going up this week. Some of these gentlemen sometimes may or may not, can't confirm or deny, offer some decent, sweet, exclusive deals to people in the Discord. Sometimes, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so join if you're so inclined. If you like this podcast and this kind of content, we do appreciate your support, likes, all of that stuff, shares. Go to these guys' channels. All their links are in the description. See what they're doing. Check them out. And give them some love. We really appreciate y'all coming and doing this again. And Deej joined us for the first time. I know y'all stayed up late, man. We appreciate it. I had fun. And yeah, that's been episode 4 of the Rare Candy Roundtable. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.